In the White House, President Eisenhower signs the proclamation that makes Alaska's entry into the Union official, nearly 92 years after Lincoln's Secretary of State bought the territory from the Russian Tsar for $7 million.
I just want to give a shout out before the show starts to all the sponsors, all the local businesses that have been coming through to help us out and get this thing started. Thank you to you guys.
Total Truck Accessory Center. Go check them out at 7700 Homer Drive. They're your one-stop shop for canopies, spray-in bed liners, LED light bars, and more. Total Truck.
TheTreehouseAK.com. Located at 341 Boniface Parkway. They're your all-in-one cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bartender today what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off.
Lawn Pro AK, your year-round professional property maintenance. Cutting lawns, but not cutting quality. Hit them up at lawnproak.com.
Double Shovel Cider Company, located off of Arctic and 58th. Handcrafted Alaskan-made cider. They also got a tap room downtown on the corner of 5th and E. Check them out, doubleshovelcider.com.
Anchortown Dogs, located across from the 4th Avenue Theater in front of the historical building. Look for the blue and gold umbrella. Get yourself a legit reindeer dog.
Tailored Restoration, helping Alaskans restore their dreams. Voted #1 in the state since 1972. Water restoration, fire restoration, remodeling, cleaning, anything that you have to do with your home, inside and outside, give those guys a call or check out tailoredrestoration.com.
Almost a little late there, bud.
Little quadro.
See how even last minute?
Yep, he's like, oh, it's happening, it's happening now.
I'm new to this. Come on. I'm new.
Those are some quick hands, Aaron.
I practice.
He's ready. Well, welcome to episode 13 of the Alaska Wild Project podcast. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you for listening wherever you're at, Spotify, Apple, if you're watching on YouTube. A couple of quick things before we get the show started. We do have Dudes Day lined up for June 19th. We
Saturday,
will be doing,
June 19th.
Yep, we're going to be doing a live podcast out there from 12 to 6 at Double Shovel. Out there, we're going to have a whole bunch of different businesses that are going to be providing a bunch of products. We'll be out there with all our merch and hoodies and shirts and stuff like that. Let me quickly read off the list of who we have so far already signed up. And we got like maybe 10 more people that are about to sign up this week. We're just getting the confirmation from them. We have Alaska Axe Co., Alaska Wild Project, AK Coffee, Mountain View Sports, Full Curl Archery, Local Greens, Shaggy Shanghai Sauce, Kick Sled Alaska, Outgoing Angling, The Rock Gym, The Bicycle Shop, Jerome's Kitchen, Johnny's Kitchen. And we're working maybe on 5 to 10 more. So it's going to be a really, really, really good day. And we're going to do pretty much a lot of interviews with a lot of people over there, get a lot of good info. We're probably going to do a 2-part series on the Dudes Day, so that recording will probably get broken up since it's going to be so long.
Yeah, a lot of people to talk to and hear what they have to say.
Yeah,
There'll be a lot of gear junkies, these guys that own the shops, they know the gear. So that's going to be rad. And then, they're the food. It's going to be real good. These food trucks are bomb. They have, passion for something. Then you got something to drink. You got coffee or cider. And then you can take a tour of the Local Greens farm when you're there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that.
That'll be open for the tour, the Local Greens.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. You have all the doors open, ready to go.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be really awesome. So Dudes Day again is June 19th. That is Saturday, the day before Father's Day, 12 to 6. Come through, spend some of that money, support some of these Alaska businesses. Yep. Everyone will appreciate it. A couple things, hit us up on our Patreon. It's patreon.com/Alaska Wild Project. If you want to donate $5, $10, whatever you got, all that stuff helps out. We're sitting on a whole bunch of unreleased material. We're sitting on some crazy videos that we want to put out for those people that are going to spend $5. I mean, and you're going to get that. We're not going to put it out on Spotify. We're not going to put it out on Apple or YouTube. Yep. It's going to be only for those people that are contributing that, and you'll get a shout out and all that stuff. And it really, really helps us, build this.
The behind the scenes.
That's right. Another way to support is Heather's Choice. Once again, Heather's Choice, I just found out, is restocked with all our stuff. My wife was just on there
sweet.
like 2 weeks before. A lot of the stuff was sold out. Sounds like Heather had a bunch of shipments to send out to the Lord of 48 and all these other stores that she's got in, but she's restocked for Alaska. So stop by the store if you got time, but if not, go to their website. Go to our website or her website. The promo code is Alaska Wild, and you're going to get 15% off your entire thing. So stock up now because, man, as you've been going, things are just gone. You just can't find it, whether it's, tires or ketchup or whatever it is you're looking for,
It's a shortage on everything, dude.
There's just a shortage, man. I'm like, oh, they got foil today. I'm just going to buy all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, and those mountains are opening up, as we get more snow melt and the upper, trails and stuff that are going into the mountains are starting to thaw. The backpacks are coming out, and it's that time, and you don't want to be shorthanded when you go to plan a last minute backpacking trip and there's no food available because it's sold out.
Exactly. And there's one more really hot tip that I want to tell people, because I've tried almost all of the dehydrated food and the freeze-dried food. And listen, some of this stuff is a little chalky. Some of it you don't like. Some of the flavors you might not like. It might not be bland enough. You got to really test that stuff out, just like you test out your boots or your sleeping bag or whatever, and see what you really like. Because you don't want to be on some expedition or some trip and you're like, oh my God, you can't wait for dinner. You've been hiking all day or whatever, backpacking or skiing or whatever you're doing, and then you bust this out and it's not what you expected it to be. And there's really a lot of different flavors. You can go to REI and just, be in a revolving circle of all these things that they got. And you're like, I don't know which ones to choose or whatever. But Alaska, Heather's Choice is the only one that is from here doing it.
Yeah. Good ingredients. The other thing is, if you're going out for a 7-day trip, 8-day trip, and you're working your ass off, I want comfort food versus if it's just like a 1 or 2 day trip, like I'm willing to try new things. So I won't go on that sheep hunt or that big alpine adventure without tasting them first. So if you're going to get them, you got to get them now.
It's almost like, breaking in the boots or something, breaking your diet a little bit. See what you like, see what's really going to nourish you and stuff like that.
Yeah, breaking your diet.
Breaking your diet and figure out what's really going to fill you up and stuff like that. Because we've been on trips where, like, in the past, I was actually telling Heather, like, you bring the Pro Pack or whatever, and it's just not enough.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, I wish I would have
Go to bed hungry still.
You go to bed hungry, and that's just not good. And then that hunger just continues. You can't really catch up to that because you have just dedicated food for that day or whatever. And so get it while it's hot. Get it while it's, in stock. And Alaska Wild is the thing, and you might as well get the discount and help out our folks.
Game on.
Yeah, good call, man. I love it.
So we've been out playing a lot. Or you guys have. I've been busting it downtown, but you guys been playing a lot. You've been out on your bear hunts and cruising a lot, and Jack's been hitting the salt. So let's start with you, Brandon. What's been the latest?
Well, as you know, I did a couple long weekend bear hunting trips. Come home empty-handed, but that's not all that matters, is to go out and kill and harvest every time. Obviously that's the icing on the cake on any hunting adventure, but the experiences and what you take from every trip is really what I think is the most important part. And every opportunity you get, the better you become, the more you learn the terrain, the territory, the packing, the whatever it is. Yeah. But no, we've had a really couple of really great weekends in a row. Got Josh Boots out weekend before last on a brown bear hunt. Just he and I, we hadn't, hung out, just the two of us in a long time. We had some great laughs, some crying, some heated conversation. All the stuff that goes into just you and one other dude, in a small cabin and doing your thing. And oh man, we had a great trip, great weather. I think we posted some pictures on the AWP Instagram of the lake. It was just glass. It was so stupid how good the weather was. I'm pretty sure I'll never get another 3 days of weather like that. I just, that was the icing on the cake. And this last weekend, we got the kids out to Prince William Sound. Eric and I got our 2 12-year-old children out, his son, my daughter. And originally it was supposed to just be a dude's trip. They decided to come, and we brought them last minute. And that, to me, just makes everything so special when you can get your children out with you. in these Alaskan adventures. I did a post on Instagram about that. It really just brings a whole nother dynamic to, it's one thing to just do it and be out there doing the process, but then when you have your children, you're teaching something at the same time. And there's so much value to that. Yeah. And again, blessed with unbelievable weather, good seas, great camping. We had a great hunt, saw lots and lots of bears. We had opportunities. Unfortunately, didn't work out, but it didn't matter. I mean, the quality time with the kids, the adventure, it's something I'll never forget. And
more importantly, something they probably won't forget, the kids.
Oh yeah. And now that they're 12, those two big kids, it's so much different because you want to like help, hold their hand across this or carry, and they're like, Dad, I got this. And you're like,
I can jump off the boat without your hand.
Yeah, like I can jump across this creek, and I'm like, yeah, I guess you can.
Yeah, we had that with our girls where we took them out, and you'll be surprised what they actually remember. As it's something you don't even know. I mean, it's like you said, helping them out of the boat, taking them out that day, one little moment. And the opportunity, if you don't take them, the opportunity is not there for them to enjoy.
Thanks for sharing that, because that's really like what you're right. They're going to remember little things. They're going to remember that joke, that nickname, that like little thing. Like, let me tell you, for instance, this was like a running joke of the thing. So we're nose up to the shore, and it's like, okay, tide's coming up, so we don't have to worry about the boat getting stuck. So we're unloading all the gear real quick, pop, 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 pop. And now it's time to get the kids off the boat. So I get my daughter off the boat, and now I'm getting Eric's boy off the boat. So I turn my back to the bow for him to get on. What does this dude do? He goes to wrap his legs around my shoulders like I'm going to do, what do you call that?
Piggyback?
No, not a piggyback, but it's like.
Oh, the over the shoulder?
Yeah, like the straight up. Like, I was like, yo, Mason, bro, this ain't that kind of party, dude. And he's like, sorry, Uncle B, I was saddling up. I was like, no, man, just a regular piggyback. Like, you don't have to.
Oh, like when you play like chicken or something in the pool?
Yeah. And when he went to get on, like, I was going to get him off on shore like that. I'm like, no, dude.
Yeah, he's a hardy boy, too.
Oh, yeah. He's stout. So it was just funny because now that was a running joke. And I know, like what Aaron said, that joke will never be forgotten. Like that, like little inside joke will always, 30 years from now, whatever happened on that trip. Yeah. But that like joke, when I pull that back, like they'll get a laugh out of it. So that's really what I took from the last couple weeks' adventures. Was Alaska's adventures are always cool and unique in their own way, but it was the quality time with people that I care about and love that stood out the most, that I wasn't really actually thinking about going into the planning of all this stuff. And I've done it 100 times and experienced that quality time and all that stuff. But something just kind of stuck with me a little bit more this year and this trip. And it made me think like, man, this is what I need to focus on as I do these trips and adventures with my friends and family as the summer transpires and happens, and soak it up. Yeah. Because it's
a small window is what it is. It's because your daughter's 12 and Mason's 12 or so. And really, once they turn into teens, like they don't want to hang out with dad. They don't hang out with mom. You got a couple more years before, the boys and the girls get involved. And it's like they don't want to go camping with dad. And there'll be a window there where they won't. And they'll come back. What I'm saying? They'll come back. They'll come back and be like, let's go do that. Remember we used to do this and you used to do all that. And they'll kind of miss it. But there'll be that teen there where it's like, I don't want to really go fishing this weekend.
I mean, I was that kid. I grew up camping, hunting, fishing my whole life. And then there was just this window where I was like, my buddy's picking me up in his new Chevy and he's got his 12s bumping. And, there's a party maybe going on that you don't know about. I can't. So, I get it. Like, that might
actually be the most important age, is like that 10 to like 13. It's really cool when they're really young, and you might not remember it all when you're 4 or 5 or 6, but those 10 to 12, 13, they're gonna not forget that.
They're sponging it up.
They're sponging it up.
My youngest daughter Cameron, every morning she used to come downstairs and get right up on me, and I was like, okay, I need a little bit of space, and I was working rotation stuff, and you go to work, and the next shift I came back,
It stopped.
nothing. I'm like, hey, you want to watch UFC? Because she loved watching UFC with me. You want to watch this? She goes, no, I'm going to Nordstrom's with Mom. You're done. And it was like a week. I was doing like a week rotation. And I mean, before you know it, they're gone. And they do come back. I mean, we've got both my daughters are 26 and 22, and they come back.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's that time. You don't have any other time to make that. You got to make that special. That's why I've always joked, like, we go fishing. When we've gone fishing, I was like, I like fishing. I just don't like catching. Because it's more about going out and doing it.
Yeah.
You know? And then,
there you go.
It's more about going out, getting in a boat, smoking a cigar. Not my kids, me. Drinking a couple beers, and enjoying the time with them. That's what it's more about than actually your best hunting trip, like you said, was you didn't shoot a damn thing.
Yeah.
But you enjoyed the time. You, like you said, little tears, little laughter, a lot of laughter, beers, and great time.
Yeah, quality time with the people that are closest to you, and you just never know what life's going to bring and whatever's going to happen. So when you can capture these little moments, it just goes deep. You know what I mean? So that's what I took from the last 2 weeks. To recap on it, it was really just a special time, and I have 3 other little girls that are small. Yeah, I got my work cut out for me. I do for sure. And I don't know that they're all going to be into it, and it's cool if they don't want to be. I'm going to definitely show them the way, and then they can make that decision.
Yep.
So I do have more opportunities, but it's cool having an older one, and then I have a 7 and a 2, so they're like gapped out really, really big. But it'll be cool because I'll have this like stretch of time where I can do this with them, and it's a learning experience with the older one, and to value how special it is with the littler ones as we have those opportunities. So. Yeah, had a great last couple of weeks of living that AK life in the spring, and the water's opening up and it got warm. Actually, last weekend was cold, dude.
Was it?
It was cold. Yeah, it was like at nights we were kind of camped in the shaded area, and it was probably like 38.
Yep.
In there. And it's still
this
cold.
out in the sound.
Yeah, with the glaciers and the waterfalls and all the stuff. I mean, there's still a lot of ice and snow.
Yeah,
almost down to the beach. So it's cold.
That went in my learning notes was okay, well, I'm no longer camping on the south or the west facing beaches in May. I'm going to the north.
It's like colder than a moose hunting trip.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, it's freezing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really cold.
Is that you were on Kodiak?
No, we were Prince William Sound.
Prince William Sound.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're not in the south-facing areas where the sun was beaming, and even when the sun does go down in the south-facing, it's still cold. But if you're in those shaded little nooks and bays and stuff, it is freezing ass cold.
Yeah. All summer, we'll still bring the kids puffies and gloves and winter hats because it's like, once they get cold, the fun's over.
Those aluminum boats are cold.
Just in general.
As soon as the sun goes down, you're just hosed. I had the same experience last weekend by going in the wrong facing bay one night.
Okay, yeah.
Do you guys have a heater?
We were camped on shore, so we brought firewood, and I brought the kitchen sink. Let's not get it twisted. I brought all the wood, all the gear, the nice everything,
buddy heater,
all the food. I didn't throw the buddy heater in the tent. That was come on.
I say that for moose camp.
They got to feel a little bit of what it's really like to camp in Alaska, and if they were really cold, we went for it. But they're 12 now. They put their sweaties on, and they got all snuggled up and shit. I think Mason was wearing his Lulu sweaties. I was like, come on,
nice,
come on.
He was real comfy and looked real good.
Yeah, he was looking sharp.
Well, it's come a long way. You can actually get your kids really nice sleeping bags. It wasn't when I was little.
The Coleman,
yeah,
the flannel ones.
Yeah, the flannel, exactly. Yeah.
It seconds as a dog bed.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it's
and
actually.
Stay smelling like that.
Yeah,
because you can't wash it; it's just too big.
You wake up in the morning, it's just all these gray hairs. You're like, what is this?
But so Jack, you did something really cool and unique in my eyes because you mentioned skiing and doing your thing, but that was your objective, right? You went out to the sound, took the boat. You're going to go find some snow.
Yeah. So let's see here. We got the boat last year, and about every time we went out, there's a mission. It was going fishing, or we had kids and doing cool kid stuff, bringing kids, or it was like a multi-family trip. Like my dad would be out there and brother and stuff. And so we kind of had everything planned every time. And I hadn't gone out there for 4 days, by myself basically without a plan. And so it was like, I'm just going to bring everything I might want to do. And I left the bow behind on purpose because it was like, okay, if I start looking for bears, that's going to get, I'm just going to look for bears.
Yeah.
And then I kind of circled a part of the sound that was off limits. So then I wouldn't just get into fishing too hard.
Yeah. Be lured into temptation.
Yeah,
yes.
Totally. So I packed skis, paddle boards, and hiking boots. And it was just like, okay, I'm just going to be spontaneous. I kind of got it delayed a little bit though, because that big storm that shut down the airport came in. So I was supposed to leave on either Wednesday night or Thursday morning, and I had to push it back till Friday. And going out of the sound. Did you go out on Friday?
Oh, we went Saturday.
Oh, you went on Saturday?
Yeah, it was super nice.
Friday,
full flat.
Still had like the residual storm weather. It was a little choppy. The boat did great. And then a buddy of mine who's been out there, Pat Curley.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Pat Curley's been out there skiing in the Sound for 20 years. So, I hit him up, where are your 2 favorite spots? And he sent me the GPS location. So I was like, I'm going to go spring skiing. It's going to be awesome.
Right on.
So went out there, and it was kind of, rainy and choppy the first night, but the cove I stayed in was beautiful. And woke up in the morning, it was blue skies, and it remained that way for the next 3 days. And
nice.
I'm still
you
guys both got a good tan going on.
Yeah. Well, and the scratches too.
Oh yeah,
there you
got
go.
some
little
battle
brush,
wounds.
little
Yeah.
brush.
Yeah.
Had a little mishap. We won't talk about that on the mic. We'll talk about that after.
Oh, it sounds like a
Caribou
good story.
calls.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I got a question. When you do the sup board, when you go from your boat, have you ever fallen off? I mean, that water's got to be freezing.
No.
You're just going like with your clothes on and stuff.
Yeah. I've
you don't wear
never
a dry
fallen
suit?
off.
You better knock on this beautiful piece of wood right here.
So I have a little trick where I have a dummy on a long rope. And so if I stay in a cove where I can get within maybe 70 yards, 60, I'm not Tom Brady's, but 60 yards ashore, I can throw that dummy to shore, and Brooks, Ranger, my dog, will then go to shore and take a leak. So I try to stay close. If not, and Brooks just gets on it with me. And so I have a bunch of trips where it's like me on the paddleboard with the 2 twins. They would have been 4 last summer, and Brooks, and I've never fallen in. The Hala brand has that 4-inch super stable board, and you can get like the oversized I call it Alaska model, but it's like their kind of like backcountry version where you can like put dry bags on it, so it's a little bigger. And that's
got bungees and stuff on it.
Yeah, it's got bungees, tons of D clips. Like
Hala, Hala.
Yeah. And there's he has really cool videos online about like the rigidity. He's like sitting on a van. He's like in Aspen or something. I think Steamboat Springs maybe, but in the winter, and he has a bunch of different boards, say 20 of them, and he blows them up to manufacturer spec. And he's the Hala maker, but he has all the other competitors. And then he gets on this van and jumps off the roof, jumps in the center of the paddleboard while each end of the paddleboard will be on sawhorses, and then he measures the deflection, and it just the Hala doesn't bend.
Yeah.
Like the other ones.
And that's
do.
What's the one where they drive over it? I've seen the one where they actually park a truck on top of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've seen commercials.
Is that the Yeti one? Where
I don't know. I need
the Alpine bottle, yeah.
I can't stay up.
Yeah.
We rent them when we go over to Maui, and I just can't even.
Is that the original?
How much I fall down.
Is that the original place where that came to be?
I have no idea.
Because I never seen sup boards until I was in Hawaii.
Was it like Laird Hamilton or something like that?
Yeah,
he made those big, or I don't know who did, but
yeah, I have no idea the history. But the dude that rents them out at Girdwood, we'll have to look it up and put it on the podcast. I talked to him like 12 years ago, 10 years ago, and when he was using this Hala brand, because the Hala brand's made for doing surfing, just regular paddleboard stuff, yoga, and also whitewater surfing. And so he was trying to make this board that just
is it like Hala, like HOLLA?
HALA.
Okay.
And so he's using them for this Girdwood dude who rents them is using them for the boar tide. And I was like, fuck, people are using that for the
they
board.
use those, not actual.
Some people use the fiberglass too.
Okay.
But this board is like the the search for like fiberglass performance, but then with like your inflatable kind of flexibility and stability. So, I love it. So I have the big Haas, and then we also have the model under it.
That sounds awesome.
That's what you got to have. I mean,
The big Haas.
I got a big Haas too.
Yeah, I feel like it's like the dude from, was at the show Ponderosa? He's like out there, Haas, you know?
Yeah.
It's like if Haas can ride that thing, I can ride that thing.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've done the Golcana for, 4 years in a row?
Well, that was the first time I ever supped, and it was one of your Hala boards on the Golcana.
Yeah.
I mean that was
Are those
fun.
they're inflatable ones?
Yeah, they're inflatable. I bring them to Hawaii, and
I need to get that from you because
Yeah.
we're talking about getting some to put in the back of the
Yeah.
truck when we're out.
Oh, perfect.
RVing.
yeah, they're amazing. I think the other brands are getting better. Like I know a lot of people have this body glove one they have at Costco, and I think it's pretty good. But I mean, if
They're
I
tippy
had to buy
though.
one,
Those are tippy.
Well, it's
Oh,
catching on.
mine's
I was
not
just at
tippy.
Fred Meyer's yesterday, and they have like a whole section of stand-up paddle boards, kayaks, and sit-on top
Really?
kayaks. Yeah, and they're selling them for like under 400 is probably the price point, but it's like crazy that, I mean, Fred Meyer's is carrying it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So what
They're in
makes
the
it
market.
quality? Like the less bend it has, the more rigidity,
yeah. So flexibility's huge. Or
even side to side. I would say
So some side to side stuff for sure. I'd say that you want to have three. I like to have 3 fins with the third fin being removable. So like if I'm at a deep lake or the ocean, I can run like a 10-inch fin. You know, it's going to cut through the water better. But then like on the Golcana, I started running the 6 inches and I was hitting the rock still. Yep. So then I went to the 2.5 UV activated ones, where like if your fin bent. So with that board, you can almost pull. You can put weight to one side and basically lift that fin to the surface, so you can go over rocks that are like a half inch or a half inch, inch under the water. Well, it's just so short that when you roll the board a little bit to like say your left side of the board, the right side of the board picks up enough that the fin now is
pretty much out of the water or whatever,
coming out of the water a lot of the way. And also, it's okay if the rubber part of the board hits a rock, it's gonna bounce off, but that fin will catch you, and then maybe throw you. You remember me falling?
Yeah,
off
dude.
That
When you brought that 6-inch one, I remember you and Tangy just like, like every like big little boulder, boom, and it's just like a Indo, you know, just boom,
so is
right
it
in
the bigger
water.
the fin, the more stable it is? Because I need like one
Stable-
that's like 7 feet
snake
long
fin.
for me to ride.
It helps them a little bit with stability and a lot with tracking. So where you want to go.
Okay.
But like, what's cool about these 2.5-inch fins, and then I also have 2 other fins that are built in that are 2-inch, is that, and those are really flexible. If my 2.5-inch fin gets bent and mangled, you can just flip over the board, and a little bit of sunlight makes it soft.
Oh, okay.
And then you can bend it back up.
Oh, it's
and
like
then throw it
malleable.
back. Yeah, it's
Like a
super
hair
malleable.
dryer or a
It's
heat gun or something.
Yeah, it's UV activated.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So it's made for this. So that's pretty rad. So the Hala brand I love, and I mean you pay more for it, right? It's $1,000 board, so it's a good board.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but you've had it for years and years.
over
10 years.
over a decade. Yeah. And I mean
man,
it.
that's worth every penny. Then if you're getting it sounds like you're rallying it.
Yeah, I use it. You know, I'd say I use it.
Oh, that thing's been
30
rallied on the
times.
Golcana.
What
Yeah,
size can you get it? What bag can you get it into?
So they come with a bag, and the bag is probably
Like an Arctic Gear size
Action
bag?
packer? About?
it would be narrower. It'd be like the height of an action packer, a little bit longer than an action packer. Let's see here. So it'd
Almost
go-
like the black and yellow thing at Costco? Like that one?
Oh yeah, it would be like that
Like the
tote.
tote?
That
Yeah,
tote,
I'm trying to
but
just think of
but
something that
not-
everybody
but
knows.
not as deep, like the big tote, but
Yeah.
not as deep. So
Okay.
it goes.
Could
It
you
goes.
put 2 of them in one of those totes?
No,
Oh.
no, one for sure. But the bags are nice, you know. So I just leave them in the bags, and so and then I bring it to Hawaii, you know.
Oh, you travel with it too?
Yeah. So the height would
That's
be
what's up.
when I wear the backpack, it hangs to like the bottom of my ass.
Do you duct tape them together and it's one?
I should do
I
that.
can't do that anymore.
Yeah, man.
Found that out.
Yeah.
Oh, they that's no longer
They
a
won't let
thing.
you tape boxes together at all.
Oh,
My
come
Coors
on.
Light trick is
Yeah, it's
busted for
ruined.
Yakutat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter just moved to Colorado and left all her fish in the freezer with us, and my wife brought down fish because
Yeah.
Ain't got Alaska fish in Colorado,
Right.
not even close. And we taped 2 boxes together to try and get him as one. And nope. As soon as I brought him up, they were like, you can't do that anymore.
Nice try there, bud.
Yeah. I tried 2 gun cases going down the shit cove.
I know. I was like, it's duct tape. You can't break it.
So did you ski? Did you get up and ski?
Yeah, let me tell my story. All right.
Yeah.
So we get in
I
there.
was just curious, man, because it's like
this
sounds
is
like a lot of work, man.
This is a good learning for me.
All
so we put a lot of time in research and understanding, scouting for like some of the other adventures we go to.
It's like full recon.
Like if I'm gonna go pack rafting, like I know the shit. Like there's not. I've talked to people that have done it that year and all that stuff. And then if we're going like hunting, you know what you're doing. Yeah. So I'm going backcountry skiing. I'm like just a whim, like, oh yeah, I know it's great out there, you know. So and I got these 2 spots. Well, you get into these bays, and you got these giant hemlock trees and 4 feet of snow next to the fucking shore. And then all the coves have all these like little fingers and shit. So you're like, where the fuck do I get up? How do I get through this without post holing for 8 hours? And so I was just kind of like,
Snowshoes?
I was like, those skis are gonna sit in the head for a while because I'm up post holing all day. So instead, I installed. It was a beautiful bluebird day, so I had thrown some pots. Oh, this is funny. So the night I go out, I was going through Colross. And I always see buoys out there, so I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
People are catching some shrimp here, and a couple other guys that shared some spots. And I was like, hey, it's probably not an epic spot, but I'm gonna get some shrimp. So we got a new pot puller, this prawn pot puller, because we used
Is it the PrawnStar?
It is the PrawnStar. Is the actual name PrawnStar Mano. So it's like $600 instead of the $2,500, and it's this dude out of BC, and it came with like I don't know if this is socially acceptable, but like the best backwoods directions ever. Just you couldn't make up the shit. It looked like it. The drawings.
You say he's from Canada?
Yeah,
Some Mickey Mouse.
This dude is awesome though. Like I was emailing back and forth, and he's like, and I'm an engineer, so I'm like, oh, what about this? What about that? And he's just like, dude, just go fucking do it. You know? I'm like, all right. He's like,
trust me, bro. Is there anywhere?
It's gonna work.
Look at the pictures. Don't read the words.
Yeah.
And
Don't be a hoser.
But it looked like, I mean, he seriously like just like took some crayons and shit and made some drawings. And then his directions are like, don't fucking call me if you have problems. 'Cause this is easy. And you're like, all right, you know, I'm just gonna get it. And
he didn't run this by his lawyer, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I throw this pot out, and the state of Alaska has some rules around harvesting shrimp and leaving the buoys out, and you have to have certain things written on the buoy. Well, my partner on the boat, Jake, Super Cub pilot Jake, he had one of us, probably me, left the buoy for the shrimp with our names on it and addresses and phone numbers in his garage. And I was thinking they're on the boat, and I thought the second shrimp pot was on there, so I only had one shrimp pot. And I didn't have that buoy, but I have my other buoy, my anchor pulling buoy. Like if I get in trouble with the anchor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, I'll use that. So I go to find a fucking marker. There is no marker or pen.
Well done, sir.
On this boat. So I'm like, shit. Like I gotta label it, And so I'm like,
there was no magic marker.
Maybe I'm gonna like cut. Like at this point, I'm gonna cut duct tape because I have knives and scissors, and like write my name and address and phone number and all the shit you need on it. And then I look down, and my action packer lid has all that shit on it. So my buoy that was floating out in the sound all weekend, all 4 days, had a buoy, and then right next to it, carabiner on, was my action packer lid. And it's just like floating there in the water.
It's like a tag.
Jack, did you get a picture of that?
Oh yeah, I have a picture.
Oh my god, dude! I'm gonna put a
freaking.
I'm gonna post that for the video, dude.
It was. I was just like, I'm gonna do this, and so.
Oh my god,
it worked good though.
So it's like the trailer buoy.
Oh yeah, dude.
It's like, where is my? Oh, there it is. The action packer lid.
Yeah. This isn't it. I don't see that one. Yeah, it was great.
So you dropped one whole pot down there.
Yeah, so one, and so that first night, I hadn't installed the puller. I made sure it worked at my house, but I hadn't installed it. So that next morning, it was Bluebird, installed the puller, drilling holes, and anyway, got it installed. went to pull it, and the thing works like a dream. Like it needs a little hearing protection.
Oh,
yeah, it's pretty loud. It's pretty loud, but that thing is a beast, and it's super safe compared to our old one, which was a snowblower engine that almost took off everyone on the boat's hands. So it was like a great upgrade. It gave me like massive anxiety before. It was so ghetto, and now we have like this legit puller. So I pulled that up. Only got 5 shrimp, but then I used John.
That would have been a snack for one of your kids.
Yeah,
what you were saying earlier.
Yeah. I was telling the guys earlier that we brought. I think I got 130 on the trip, 830 out there, roughly, and then cooked about my mom cooked 100 of them last night, and the 4-year-olds ate 40 each.
That's
so they
crazy.
80 shrimp. Yeah, I was
that's
like, I
impressive.
don't need the mac and cheese, Dad. I'll just eat the shellfish.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
It was funny because it was.
So
like
wait a minute, you had a good pull or two to get that many shrimp at some point. With one pot.
Yeah, with one pot. So then right after that,
that's like probably a full bag of tails, or more.
Yeah,
Two gallon or a gallon and a half.
It was more than one full gallon bag.
Okay. That's the shrimp lingo, by the way.
Yeah.
Is the
bags?
bag
How many
of
bags
tails?
you
Bag
got?
of tails or buckets?
I got 5 bag of tails.
No, that's a gallon Ziploc.
Yeah, so when you say a bag
gallon
of
or
tails,
quart?
when you say a bag of tails, it's a gallon full of tails.
Got
Yeah,
it.
tails.
You could be a number of different. You got tigers and prawns, or you got the different sizes or whatever. But if you get a gallon bag, that's it.
Got it.
You got
it.
yeah.
Got it.
You obviously hit a nice hole though.
Yeah, so right after that, I was like, okay, we're gonna reset this thing, and we're gonna go over to this secret spot that my dad has. So I had it marked on Navionics and went over there and set it, and then I was like, man, this is really fucking nice. So I just drifted from there. It was Bluebird, and then dropped down some jigs, and then pulled up some rockfish. I pulled up 4 yellow eye.
Wow, nice.
But I can only keep one, so I was releasing the other ones, and so I got a big one. And I was doing the deep water release.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
So you can.
That's good practice, right? To get to use that, right?
What's the deep water release?
So now you have to have it on your boat. But so when you pull these rockfish out, they have a swim bladder, and when that thing comes up to surface, it inflates, and it prevents them. It creates enough buoyancy that the rockfish actually can't swim down back to depth. So the deep water release, they have 2 styles. One's like a spring loaded, and the other one is like a long rod without a barb. And so you put either one in their mouth or the other one kind of up through the jaw, and then you drop it down with a weight to the bottom, kind of slower. And then when it gets on the bottom, you just give it a couple of jerks, and then it'll come off. And
that's because of the atmospheric pressure. The fish are so deep. It acclimates them back down.
Yep.
That's
yeah,
right.
they have
Yep.
a much higher success rate of survival upon release, shaking it off and getting that thing to kind of suck back in.
Those are the fish, if you pull them up too fast, they'll actually turn themselves inside out.
Almost all rockfish do it.
Yep.
So that's the swim bladder that you're seeing coming out of their mouth.
Okay.
So all of them did that. I was fishing some deep water. So put them down, and then I got one real nice yellow eye that I kept, and then it was that fish ended up being a pretty funny story because I pulled into a cove, and it was like Brandon said, it was cold.
Yeah.
And this was an east facing cove, so it got cold fast.
Yeah, the shade was early in the day.
Yeah. And man, right next to this gorgeous waterfall, and it was kind of cold, but I know I have a heater in my boat, so I turned on the heater, and I was cooking this rockfish inside the boat. And you guys know from last week that I did all that demo at Double Shovel, so I already am trying to get a bunch of shit out of my lungs. And I mean, it was like last week. I sounded like you, Aaron. Like I had
that's just natural voice.
Yeah, this is just natural. I wear a respirator all the time.
I had a sexy voice last week, so I'm back to me now. But anyway, so I'm cooking this rockfish with some of the Cajun spice. I think it was Slap Your Mama. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Jeff Ray, for teaching me about Slap Your Mama. But Aaron knows
Not
Jeff
literally.
Ray. So anyway, he's a slope friend of ours. Anyway, so I hit it hard. I like that blackened, and the cab got so spicy that I went. You know when those people laugh so hard that they just can't catch their breath? I was coughing like that for 10 minutes, and I was all on the back
Just
desk.
threw that meat on there.
Smoking it out.
I scared every black bear away from that bay. It was pretty funny.
That's funny.
Yeah. I got a lot of shit out though, so that was cool.
Yeah, good clear
Was
out.
your personal like steamer?
Yeah. So getting back to the skiing thing, and how it relates to like our backcountry, our research is like I didn't do good enough research. You know?
The Google Earth will only show you so much. Like there might be like a beach that's 400 yards wide, and there's like a little 4-foot opening to get up into the.
You know what they need?
The
you know what
jungle.
Google Earth needs to do is, you know how you can sometimes pull the person down to the road, and then you can actually get the visual.
Oh,
like
yeah.
they should have that
everywhere.
Yeah, so you can just pull it down and actually get a visual.
Yeah.
Well,
So
it's
instead
easier
of
to
the
do on the
Google
road, but-
Google
they need a
car-
boat.
Yeah,
The
Google
Google boat.
Yeah, the
That's
Google
right.
boat. Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, the Google ATV.
Yeah.
Hit us up, AWP, man. We'll get some footage for you, boys.
So that
Just throw the thing on the Can-Am and go.
Exactly.
I guess the other cool things that I did, and one thing Brandon will really nerd out on is that I had 2 ridges I wanted to climb. One was on night, and the other one is like this Granite Valley up ridge line up Deepwater Bay. Both had still
That's mainland.
yeah, too much snow. I mean, there was a lot of snow. There, like 4 feet of snow on the north side on the beach, you know? So I didn't do those, but I did do Perry, and we peeked out. I peeked out on me and Brooks Ranger, and I peeked out, kind of just wanting to peek out, but also to look for some, deer and do some scouting. And I wasn't impressed. I think that this winter must have been really hard. I found some skeletons on the southwest side of the island. Had a little bonfire, but everything was too wet. But just not like what we saw out there in the past. So I think this winter was really hard on the deer on Perry, and it'll be interesting to see what's happening on other islands. But it was cool to get up there, get up in that like dwarf hemlock in places where you don't need a trail. Like I just love that, hike and wander wherever you want. So that was really cool. So two really good hikes on Perry, and then I found a couple cool like coves that you could take your boat only so far in, but then there was another mile or 2 of other kind of coves you could, or even multiple fingers that you could kind of cover on your paddleboard, and that was just amazing. No one's around. I'm so far away from everyone, and man, it's just like I was in my happy place. It was cool.
So what, when you go ski like that, what is your hike to ski time ratio? I mean, you hike up couple hours, and how long of a run is it down?
10 minutes.
That's like skiing at Hilltop.
Yeah. You got to earn it, Aaron.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
There's value in that. It's the journey, not the destination.
It's all about just being out
well
there,
said.
kind of like Brandon on his last 2 hunts. Like, it's not about harvesting. It's about being out there, experiencing Alaska. And I like hiking, and I'm willing to put in the hard work. I didn't this time for skiing.
Yeah.
I couldn't find the access points. What I thought, like the Trail Forks app where they track where you go. And then so these after a couple people try this new route, they basically built a trail. It'll populate on the Trail Forks app. We need to have that for like a backcountry skiing, so then we can see where other people have skinned up or hiked up, and then you can have the same access point. Because if I know people ski in these 2 spots, like they're big ski spots, I could see ski mark, where people
with binoculars,
Which how do you-
yeah,
but I couldn't find the access points, and I didn't try that hard.
Yeah. You're like, well.
Yeah. Really quick, guys, I want to give a shout out to Taylor Restoration, 24-hour emergency services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold damage, post-emergency cleaning, remodeling, and the aftermath. This includes burst pipes, overflowing toilets, downed trees, fires, pet accidents, and vandalism. Now that your house is heating up and you need some fans and some of that dog pee is coming out, give these guys a call. Taylor also has an emergency response number with trained professionals available to help you anytime, day or night. Give them a call in Anchorage right now. Pull your phone out, 344-1239. You're going to need this number if you have any kind of accident in Eagle River, Matsu, Fairbanks. That Anchorage number, I'm sure they'll be able to direct you to that. Or just go to tailoredrestorationalaska.com and they will help you out. Go see Trent. Tell him Alaska Wild Project sent you. He's going to send his best guy over there to help you guys out, and you'll be taken care of no matter what the problem is. I want to introduce our guests. You guys have been hearing them. This is a buddy of ours. He's done a lot of work for myself, and he is one of the best woodworkers I've ever seen. His name is Aaron Sweeney. Aaron, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
His Instagram handle is roasted_timbers woodworx with an X on the end. If you've been following us on our Instagram page, we do a lot of reposting of Aaron's work. Mm-hmm. He has a lot of Alaska themed wood projects where you'll see Alaska flag, or you'll see the state of Alaska, or just Alaska themed things. If you've seen pictures of us, he did our beautiful, if you're watching us on YouTube, he did our beautiful Alaska Wild Project sign. He killed it, did it right to the T, exactly like that. He did a couple of the menus at my hot dog stand. I actually wanted to ask you, when you first did that first one a long time ago, was that one of your first signs?
I think it was maybe first 6 or so months type of thing. I started off I did an American flag for my wife. She wanted one for the backyard, and I actually did it. And somebody wrote me and said, "Hey, I want to buy that." And I was like, "Hey, do you mind?" And she goes, "Yeah, but you got to promise you're going to make me something eventually to replace it." And that was like 5-6 years ago, and I still haven't made her a damn thing. No, I made her a couple things, but no, it was one of the first ones, and it was a little different because I carved that, and I carved that by hand. I do almost everything by hand. I use power tools. I'm not an idiot, but I don't use a CNC or anything like that, and I do a lot of it by hand. I work a rotational job that I'm more of like a team lead type position, and I'm on a computer or in a truck way too much. I don't want to be on a computer when I'm home doing a CNC. I think those have their value, and when I retire, I might end up getting one of those things. But I really, really enjoy working with my hands.
Truly handcrafting.
Yeah. And truly handcrafting, and that the thing, Jack will know this, that when you work on the slope, you never start anything you finish, or finish anything you start. Yeah. Because you have an alternate. You're only there 2 weeks. And that's the thing I get out of doing what I do is I am doing something all the way through. People are putting in their house. People love it. It means something to them. I really enjoy just building stuff. If I wasn't selling this stuff, I'd probably be building it and giving it away, type of thing. So, that's just that's my thing. That's what I love to do.
And the progress has been there because, like you said, the menu that you did for me was the first 6 months. And what year was that?
Yeah. Oh, God dang.
That must have been, 2016,
17, right around there?
No, that was way earlier than that. That was way earlier than that. But I got so many customers and so many people that stopped by the hot dog stand just by looking at the thing, like, wow, who did this? Who made this? This looks so professional.
No, I appreciate that.
And now he's making another one for us, and he's made this sign, and now the signs have been going crazy. I was looking at your Instagram, and you got brownies that you're doing a big thing for him
right now for Barney's Sports Chalet.
Let's stuff a couple of the other big. I saw AK Starfish. You did a big thing for them.
I did AK Starfish. I've done Double Shovel. Yep. I did all the signs originally for Girdwood Brewing. They replaced them with steel ones here recently. They didn't like the maintenance. There's a little bit of maintenance required with that.
Well, it's wet out there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I did one for the road for them, and not knowing that's where they were putting it. And it got hammered by slush all winter. And I actually went out there a couple times and fixed it.
Okay.
4 beers. But I went out there. I'd go out there. And, I'd be out there anyways, and I'd swing by and nail some stuff back on, touch some stuff up. But it took a beating down there at the road, and you live and you learn. I made it out of, because of how big it was, I had to use plywood that doesn't stand up real well to the water. It starts to layer out.
Form.
Fall off and such like that. But gosh, who else? Alaska Outdoor Gear. I've done their signs for them.
And a ton of stuff for people's family. Like you don't just do huge big signs. Like if you want to see like your traditional thing that you might have seen at the fair, it's just like your last name for your front door.
A lot of marriage gifts. I've done a lot of stuff for people that are getting, I want to give this person a special marriage gift. Some stuff where like, hey, we got married on Maui. We want to have the ocean and we want to have the North Shore in it, so I do an epoxy pour, mix it all up, kind of make it look like ocean type of stuff, and put a star where they got married, So a lot of stuff like that, a lot of mixing, a lot of state mashup stuff where, I live in Idaho, but I love Alaska, or I live in Wyoming. I just did I've done a couple pieces for people in Wyoming, Montana, Iowa. I did one for Iowa, and I'm sorry, Iowa. I did the state upside down. I did the state upside down. Had to actually redo it and ship it back. And the whole thing about it is I probably could have just flipped the state over. I mean, it's pretty much a square with a couple little ding-a-lings off each end. Yeah. But that was the worst. The funny thing is we were on vacation when I found out I'd done it wrong. I got a text from a friend of mine that I'd actually done it for. It was a hockey host. They wanted to give something to their kid played hockey, and they wanted to give something to him.
To their billet family or
whatever. Yeah, billet family.
Yeah.
And I did it upside down, and I was like, you gotta be effing kidding me. I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink anything. I was just like, this is just bothering the hell out of me. So I ended up having to redo that one. But just a lot of mashup stuff, whatever people want. Your guys' sign, you came out with a really cool design. Quite frankly, until I really looked at the AWP, I actually didn't realize that was an AWP.
Oh, well, that's a good eye because actually nobody really knows that.
Yeah.
If you look at our logo and you look at the snow lines in the mountain, it actually says AWP.
Yes.
And a lot of people really haven't realized that. And when they do, it's like a secret little hidden, like, oh.
That's pretty cool.
It was so funny when I threw on this T-shirt. I ran home after work. I changed and I threw my shirt on the bed. Right, quick shower. I come out and I'm like, I look at it and I'm like, oh man, I kind of forgot about it. Like I know it's so funny you guys say this. I remembered looking at it again today. Like, oh yeah, this is AWP. I knew it did, and when we designed it, but we've looked at so much merchandise and the signage and all of our stuff. I kind of just keep looking at it, that logo, not seeing the
it's
detail
one of those
of
things like a Bev Doolittle. Like once you see it, like that's all you see.
Yeah.
You know? Like now it's not a snow line to me. All I see is AWP.
Yeah. The Washington State Cougar symbol's like that. It looks like a cougar head, but if you look closer, it's WSU.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm about ready I'm going to do one of those for my dad here.
Oh,
soon.
really?
Yeah. He went to Washington State. He's a Coug. So I didn't realize
your dad's a good man.
Oh, is that where you went to?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Go Cougs.
Yeah. He went there 9,000 years ago, but he did, they called it sanitary engineering at the time, but it's civil engineering.
Yeah.
He's not a janitor.
Yeah.
He's retired now, but that's what they called it then. It was really, really new. When he went there, they actually paid him to go
to school.
Cool. He did a civil engineering degree and then a sanitary engineering master's.
Yeah.
And it was so new that they paid him to do it.
Yeah, they're like, get it. We need some people in this program. This guy looks like he's legit. Let's get him in.
Yep.
Yeah. So have you had Cougar Gold?
What's that?
Cougar Gold cheese?
No, I have not.
What's that?
So Washington State's cheese is just incredible.
Like cheese or cheese curds or
no? It's cheddar. It's like a sharp cheddar, I believe.
Oh, like a white.
Yeah,
like a white sharp.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. You meet these people from Wisconsin. They're like, we have good cheese, but that Washington State Cougar Gold, it's legit.
Oh, they show mutual respect to the cheese.
Tangy's ladies from Wisconsin, and he was sharing that with me today, actually. That fact.
That's great. A thing about the cheese curds, actually we were down at they had the cheese curd from Wisconsin. We were at
Homer King
and
Derby.
it was the Wisconsin, and come to find out, like I guess like the waxier it is like how they define if it's good or not.
Oh, okay.
And then thinking about like biting that, like that's kind of like the feel you get in your mouth, like a waxy, and that's what they're looking for. I guess that's what
it's one of the traits.
That's one of the traits. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
So a little history on Aaron. Aaron's a lifelong Alaskan. We were checking you out, Bayshore.
Well, six.
Six. Well, just like a lot of people.
Where'd you move up from 6?
Washington.
All right,
I was born in Vancouver. My dad we lived in Seattle, Lake Forest Park, which is like north of Seattle. I think that's right. And my dad, they opened up an EPA office up here.
Okay.
And my dad ran it.
Nice.
And we all moved up here, and and that was at a time. We rode in the back of the car, and like we'd go to like cars, on Diamond.
Yeah.
And we'd have to duck down in the car when my parents went into the store because it said for official use only. So when we first got there, because it was, but yeah, he worked for the EPA for I don't know how long, and then they ended up closing the office down, moving it to Seattle. But yeah, we moved. We moved up here. Diamond in Minnesota was a stoplight that hung on cable.
Dirt roads on the side.
Yeah, Minnesota was chip seal. Mm-hmm. Mike Gravel was our state senator or something like that. I think like that. When my mom would always complain, like, "Thank Mike Gravel for this damn road." I think that was before Murkowski became the senator, Frank Murkowski. But back in those days when I remember being in first grade and the first earthquake I went through, I fell off my chair and started crying. Yeah. And I still have people like 20-year reunion. We had to go. Oh no, it was a 10-year ago. I still remember the time you fell off your chair crying in the earthquake.
Oh,
so
jeez.
Hey, I was 6. Come on. But no. Grew up here. My wife her grandfather was born in Juneau Douglas.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
she's old school.
Our kids are like 4th generation. I went to Bayshore.
Bayshore, Mears, Diamond, correct?
Yep.
The whole family.
Our kids did. My wife went to Mears and Diamond.
Yeah.
I think she was going to Campbell or Taku or something like that. So
shout out to the Campbell Cubs.
Yeah, Campbell Cubs.
I taught there for
I was a
12 years.
Bayshore Eagle, or kind of thing, and still live over in that part of town where I live. What used to be where we would steal our parents' cigarettes and water down their alcohol and take it out there and shoot guns and all that type of thing.
Yeah, when it was still kind of backcountry.
Yeah, it was all marsh and everything, and my house is basically built on a swamp, like most of the people that live in Southport. So lived on the south side most of my life. Lived midtown when my kids were a little younger, and my wife and I both knew, hey, we want to kind of get to the south side because of the trails and the schools and just the lifestyle and all that. So we moved over to Southport like 21 years ago or something like that. We've been married. We just celebrated 26 years of marriage.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
That's awesome, man.
It has been. She's much smarter than me, though.
She seems like it.
Judgment in who she marries is pretty suspect.
Yeah. Well, I knew she was legit because when I went to pick up the sign, you were already back on the slope, and she's like, "I got this with you," and she helped me put it on and gave me like a blanket and all this stuff.
I know. She was out. We were working on some stuff today, and she took a week off of work just to take a week off, and she's just been helping me out left and right. I went over and helped a buddy move a couch the other day, and I was telling another buddy that, man, I'm so glad I have my wife because she would have just picked up the other end of it and done it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That type of thing. She's full on Alaskan, fishing and all that. We don't hunt and stuff like that. Nothing against it. Like, just we don't do it. It's a lot of work. But I have a daughter that's 26, a daughter that's 22 that were, both. They actually went to Diamond as well. Not the Diamond I went to, because the Diamond I went to was
different.
Oh, God, it was. I actually had a guy, we were standing next to him in the hallway of the old Diamond, and one of the roof tiles was so wet it fell out on him. Every time they had an assembly, they'd breakers would go off when the snow melted. We'd have garbage cans in the hallway. You'd have to help the janitors move them because they just it was built by a California architect kind of thing.
Yeah.
They finally tore it down, kept the pool and the gym, and rebuilt the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
But no, it was good. Growing up, and I lived in Bayshore most of my life, as a kid, and growing up there was a great place to grow up. It was,
go out and play.
That's one of those classic Alaska neighborhoods.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, you get on your bike and you disappear at 7:00, and your parents tell you what time you need to be home, and that's pretty much it. It was, the summertime, it was out of the house at 7. I mean, throwing a ball on the baseball was big in my life. Throwing a ball on the roof and catching it and pissing off my brothers, type of thing because they weren't up yet. But just growing up in Anchorage was a great place to raise kids. It's different now, but I mean, it was just wonderful back then. I mean, and Bayshore was like a microcosm type of thing of that. Growing up, and I had a buddy that lived right down the street. I'm still friends with him. We went into O'Malley's last night and had drinks with him and his wife, and just a firefighter here for Anchorage, and just great group of people here. I mean, that's
one of the beautiful things about Alaska is you have these friends that you've had for your entire life since elementary school or junior high, and you go out of state and you visit these people, and they may have one or two of those, and you're very privileged or lucky to have that, and a lot of us maybe have 5 to 8 of those kind of people. That's just amazing. Like people don't have that, and you don't realize that until you leave, and they're like, oh man, these are like your best friends from elementary school. I'm like, these are my boys.
We still go fishing and drink beer.
I always joked that we held each other's hair while we were throwing up. I mean, even some guys that live out of state, that work up at on the slope. I'm still buddies with them and trade texts. We got a text string it's probably like all 3 of you. It's just ridiculous and juvenile and
sickening.
All over the
people would
place,
see it
just out of the.
It's pretty clean, but it's very juvenile.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those like. Hopefully, the wife doesn't read this without the context of what it is.
Yeah.
A lot of context is needed. In
this. It's clean, but it's juvenile and accusing each other of being suck ups or whatever type of thing. But it's all good. I mean, that's what you build up here. I mean it's not quite the same, but I mean as it was, but it's still you see people, you pull over if somebody's on the side of the road and need something. That's what I've found with our traveling. Southern hospitality, Northern hospitality is what's real. I don't believe in Southern hospitality. Northern hospitality is real because somebody's stuck in the snow. Hey, I got a tow strap. I'll get you out. I'll jump you. I'll give you a jump. Hey, keep that. Just get it back. We'll get it back somewhere. Somebody will give me some bungee cord somewhere along the way.
Totally. Sure. Keep that strap.
You're at Lowe's. I was at Lowe's like 2 weekends ago or last hitch and saw some people loading a Subaru with 8x4 sheets of plywood, and I was like,
on top.
Hey, you're not going to do that with bungee cords. Why don't you tell me where you're living and I'll give you a ride? Now they didn't take me up on it. 10, 15 years ago, they probably would have took me up on it. And I would have said, hey, I'm going in the store for 20 minutes. I'll be out. I'll give you a ride.
Yeah.
That's what Alaska's about. That's why we like living here. It's just different.
Yeah. That's the beauty of it. Yeah. Exactly. And my brother had a similar story. He went out to the property out in Willow to get some firewood, got the truck stuck, had to walk, 2 miles to the neighbor to try to get some tools, and 2 miles to the next neighbor. And on the third one, someone was there and was able to come and pulled him out and was able to help him out. Like, you can still do that.
Yeah.
And that can be kind of sketchy back in that area.
Oh,
just go creeping up in the sun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The willow billies.
Yeah. I mean, he might come out and reach you with a shotgun or whatever, but you know what? He's gonna lend you his tool.
He'll get it all out. Come along, everything. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, oh, you need some help? I'm there.
He's like, wow, man, I've been waiting for you to come so I can help somebody. I'm glad you shed light on that, Aaron, because that's the Alaska that I grew up in, and my dad was an old school car salesman, and he literally drove around town on Saturday mornings and found vehicles in driveways and yards, and hey, man, you want to sell that thing? Buy it, restore it, clean it up, sell it. And in those times running around with him, it was unbelievable how many times he helped people, towing them out, jump in their car, give them a quick jump in the back of the truck and ride down to the gas station with a fuel can. Like, it was just kind of the way I kind of miss that, I mean, I really miss that, but there still is some of that.
Oh, like I 100% agree. There's still a lot of that.
Yeah.
And I would say maybe at least 70% of the people got a tow strap in their truck,
jumper
cables in their truck, something to help out in whatever situation.
Or a truck just to do the job to pull something out. Like, drive around our roads and like every other vehicle on the road is a truck, you know.
Yeah,
and I'd probably say 50% have like a socket set too. I had a buddy yesterday. He's like, "You don't have a socket set in the truck." I was like, "Oh,
under the front seat, baby. You gotta have a socket set."
That's what I'm saying.
I will say though that I kind of get it with what Aaron's saying, how it's changed, because even I grew up that way. You know, we stopped at everything. Everyone that's ever needed help, we stopped at. And after that crazy incident that happened, I don't know, did we talk about on the podcast, like we're on the 420 day where there's that stuff on it? There's some stuff on Boniface anyway. So I was cruising over there to go up to Wolverine. And so right after we had that conversation, it must have been the next day. So I'm cruising over there, and there's a dude that's in the parking lot on Boniface in Northern Lights. Like, you can just see that something's up with his truck. He can't get it. Like, I think it's a tranny issue. He couldn't get it in reverse right. So he's like going up a snowbank and then trying to roll at an angle. It's like, man, I want to stop real bad. So I went to basically go pull him, and then that experience that we had talked about that had happened over there came in my mind. It was like, you know, I really want to climb Wolverine, so I just punched it, and I felt horrible about that every day since, basically. Well, every time I've thought about that. But when everyone else here isn't showing up authentic and, you know, great, and you can trust them, then it creates this barrier for the people that always stop to help, to want to help. And I mean, this is wrong, but if that would have happened in another part of town, I might have stopped. I would have stopped, but it was that incident that we had talked about that made me go, okay, there's a little risk. I have 4-year-olds. I'm going to go hiking.
Yeah. And it changes when you got your kids in the car too.
Yeah. They're still there though. Last summer, my truck died. I've been having battery problems because I just didn't drive the truck enough. I think I might actually been leaving your guys' place, and right there before, 64th on C Street, my truck died. And before I knew, I got out and started trying to push it. Before I didn't even see these guys.
Yeah.
I had 2 other people pushing my truck.
All of a sudden your truck's rolling forward, right?
I was like, where did you guys come from? I mean, it's like, there's still people there. It's still happening. You know, a lot of the stuff, you know, I joke about it that something happens once and we talk about it 100 times. So therefore it's happened 100 times.
Yeah.
I think most people are good. I mean, most people in Anchorage it's probably Anchorage is a little bit of a transient town, you know, with as far as people that come up here for short stints and they're out. And it's an acquired taste. There's no doubt about it. There's people that come up here and do 2 or 3 years. But I think the people that have been here, I mean, like my wife's grandfather was here. He was the DOD civil engineer during the 64 earthquake. He basically rebuilt Anchorage. Yeah. Both my wife's parents went to high school up here were here during the 64 earthquake. You know, so there's still a lot of that around. Now, I heard a fact that I think there's less than 5,000 people that live in Anchorage now that were here during the 64 earthquake. Wow. But there's still those people. They're still around, and they didn't have to be around there to be at that time to be authentic. But I think
they'd be pretty elderly.
And as you're, you know, I've been the same way. You know what? I would have stopped and helped this person, but I've had my kids in the car too. You know, and you got.
And the thing is don't feel bad if you're in that situation, because I promise you, one of the next 4 people are going to stop.
Somebody's going to swing through and help that dude.
Yeah. And I've stopped and helped people with my kids to almost like instill in them, like, oh, look, this. Like if you're the only guy and you're like on the Denali Highway or something, you're like, dude, this guy needs some help. So you stop no matter what it takes. Sorry, boys, I got to get out here and help this guy. Come on out, you know, help me out.
Yeah.
So let's keep that alive, man. I think it's beneficial. You know, it's good. It's good karma.
Yeah.
Oh, it always returns its favor later. Yep. It always does.
Yeah, you'll eventually be in a situation where you need the help.
Oh yeah. If you live here, you get in a pickle. It just happens. It's cold.
Yeah.
Batteries die.
Yeah.
You know, it's the least expected time. You know.
It's how you show up. You got to show up right. You got to show up how you would want other people to show up.
Exactly.
As well.
Exactly. Jack, before we get into the trivia stuff, I know you might need a minute to get on that. I want to get into the history a little bit of what your inspiration was to kind of get going with the woodworking stuff. Yeah. And I know that you've mentioned to me before that when you retire from the slope, you want to continue to make this an entire business.
I do. It's something I would like to do. I mean, I'm probably in the 5 to maybe even 7 year range before I want to retire. I've been lucky enough to do pretty good with, my wife has a great job, and we have, been able to do rental properties and stuff like that.
It sounds like you have an amazing career, man.
Yeah, it's been good. I've been real lucky. We've always worked hard. Last week I was supposed to be out here and doing the podcast with you guys, and because of work, I was blasted. My wife and I
passed out in the parking lot.
I fell asleep in the parking lot. And I was like, guys, it's not gonna be good pod. It's not gonna be good pod. So
we want good pod.
Yeah, but no, I mean, my wife and I basically go from dawn to dusk with just your definition of dusk can kind of creep up on you.
Yeah.
But I mean, if once I stop moving, for the day, I'm done. But we pretty much go all the time. We really enjoy, meeting people and doing that kind of thing. But I kind of started off doing the woodworking, working with surplus materials, because I mean, like any Alaskan, you make the most of what you can with what you got.
Yep.
And Alaska's a place where it's really hard to get, you're not going to get walnut without paying a fortune. You're not going to get African babinga or whatever that kind of stuff is. You're just not going to get that. So like the sign I did for you guys, that frame is made from bleachers from the YMCA.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I've seen those out there.
Yeah.
Free for the taking, right?
Yeah. So my wife and her friend were big YMCA supporters, and
I grew up there, man. I used to go BMX in there.
The YMCA is memories.
Best gym in Anchorage is at the YMCA. I'm serious. The one they redid it, the upstairs gym. Mm-hmm. It's the best gym in Anchorage.
Really?
And then they've got the Diamond Athletic Club as well. So
they got funding to get that all cleaned up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, that's
do you have to sign up for 7 years and give them a piece of your blood like the Alaska Club?
No.
Okay.
It's like $65 a month for a family membership there.
Wow.
And you can go to the Diamond Center. I might be getting the numbers wrong. This is when we had one. And you can go to the Diamond Center one, which has the pool.
Oh, they're connected.
Yeah, they took over the Diamond Athletic Club.
Right,
yeah, they got the YMCA sign now.
Yeah, so they redid that, and I went over.
They still got the pink carpet though at the Diamond Center.
Yeah, and the chrome weights. The chrome weights. Yeah, so yeah, very
70s baby.
Yeah, very early, 80s. But no, so I went over there, and my wife was like, "Hey, they pulled out the bleachers." I go over there, and this was like probably 5 years ago. I mean, I am down to the last of that wood, kind of thing. So pulled a bunch of their flooring out for their gym. Got probably a couple hundred square feet of flooring, rock maple. I mean, it was the best stuff. I did several pieces where the lines were still in it. I actually did a piece for the guy that ran the YMCA and was retiring, type of thing. But got all that and use that. I like to use the salvaged materials. I mean, the first couple of years, 90% of what I made was from pallets from Lowe's or Home Depot, because Alaska and Hawaii are one of those places where they do not return pallets.
Pallets go to die.
Yeah,
they get burned.
They get burned
and such. And the thing that kind of sucks is they're starting to use crappier and crappier wood form. But so I do a lot of stuff with recycled salvaged wood. It just, I don't charge an arm and a leg. Might have felt like it, but
no, very reasonable.
No, so
incredibly fair.
Yeah, I like working with the salvage materials, taking things back to normal, just working with my hands. We talked about beforehand I'm not a CNC guy. I might become a CNC guy.
What does that mean?
What is it? Computer.
Okay, so it's not somewhere where you're putting in the design into a computer and the computer's cutting it all off.
Yeah, and I don't have anything against people that do that. It's just not my thing because, like I said, I'm
not right now because you're crafting this stuff by hand.
Yeah, I'm cutting all those letters by hand. Yep. Sometimes having pucker moments. With on the scroll saw type of thing. I'm not cutting them with the saw. I'm not.
How are you with splinters?
I've got a murderous one right here right now. The funny thing is most of the splinters I get is when I have to go, and I do go to Lowe's and Home Depot and pick up wood.
Oh, yeah.
Most of the time I get the splinters when I'm getting my wood.
Just loading and unloading?
Oh, God. I've been trying to squeeze this one of my thumb out for the last 4 or 5 days. But no, I got friends I have a guy that I'm going to pick up a bunch of wood from tomorrow. He he's kind of like a handyman. He goes in and does remodels, and he's called me a couple weeks ago and said, "Hey, I've got some great flooring that I'm pulling out. Do you want it?" And I'm like, "Definitely."
Yeah.
You know, or I had a buddy that I didn't realize it was him, but he advertised on Craigslist, "Hey, I'm tearing a house down because I'm building a new one." Eric Visser Construction. And he was tearing down a house, and I went over there and I pulled out all the, the oak flooring. It had, I probably gave myself this cancer with this stuff.
Oh, pulling that dusty old,
pulling it out and grinding off the old stuff. I wear a respirator and everything. I've sounded like this since I was 16.
Respirator.
Yeah. I should have taken it.
Yeah.
We should have had this.
You didn't have any sort of. You were just sucking it in when you were doing your work?
I was just trying to get it.
Yeah.
Oh, this will just take a couple hours, and I'll just kill myself.
Hello, grab a mask. We got masks everywhere.
3M makes some really kick-ass products, bro.
Yeah.
There's poor decisions, and I made them that day, including this is like pre-eliminating the masks in Anchorage.
Yeah.
Like I walked through multiple times during that week. I walked out of that demo room into the tap room with the mask that was in my pocket.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm telling you, get it. It's the Lincoln welding respirator. Get it, keep it, use it. It's the best one I've ever had. I got it when I used to weld stuff, and it fits under a welding mask, and it's
perfect.
Great.
Yeah.
It's small. Get it on Amazon.
Say that again, Lincoln.
I think it's the Lincoln welding one. It's pretty small. It uses a P100 filter. It's you don't even notice you have it on. You will after you take it off. You look like you've been wearing a CPAP type of thing.
Smash
but it's worth it.
It's legit.
Well, if you're sucking welding fumes, like that shit will give you cancer. So you got to have something.
Yeah, but no, pick up one of those. But I would go and get materials just from whoever would give them. Sometimes it turns into my neighbors. Hey, I've got this. You want this? This crappy piece of whatever type of thing you want. I'm like, no, I'm all stored up right now, and I really appreciate them giving me that, and I don't want to turn them down because they always. Sometimes you get a gem, but I try and work mostly in salvage materials. Sometimes I can't. That's the way it is. I don't have enough stocked up for it. And like I said, I'm probably down to the last of the bleacher wood that I have from the YMCA.
Really
that's so cool.
Man.
I didn't know that. You didn't tell us that.
No, awesome. You didn't tell us that. That just actually made that much more special because our whole premise is like local Alaskan from the roots, and like
I've sat in those bleachers a lot.
I was going to say the YMCA is a pillar of Alaska. That was the only gym back in the day before Alaska Club, before anything. That thing was like,
and they had the saltwater pool in there. Do they still got the saltwater pool?
I never used the pool.
I don't think
I used
so.
the gym upstairs.
I don't think so.
That's probably too much maintenance.
No, but it's a place you'd be surprised.
Funding is hard for that. It really is.
Yeah. The classes they have and what they do for people. I was surprised at how much stuff is for free there, and that's why we always kind of felt good about, hey, let's not go to the Alaska Club. Nothing against the Alaska Club,
sure,
but let's go there. And then, man, they have the most unbelievable on the second floor gym. Yeah, they just did it up. Yeah,
that's
big
great.
time. So it's a great place to go.
I'll have to check that out, man.
Yeah, definitely do that. But just doing that, and I think a lot of. I tried everything for a while because I have 2 weeks off, and at a time, and there was a time where I'd come home and I'd work while I was off still, and eventually got to where I went to a 2-and-2, and I drove my wife nuts. She was just like. I went and I did golfing for a while. I did jujitsu for a while, and I did yoga for a while. All that stuff. I found that I needed to do something that not having your mind in it had consequences. Mm-hmm. Yoga, you fall over. Jujitsu, you're going to sleep. Yeah. You are. Or my jujitsu career only lasted a couple of years because I wasn't in the moment, and somebody put an arm bar on me, and it was not fun. But
let's shut this down.
I know the guy was he's a gorilla. Just one of those guys that just, I don't know what I was thinking, but that was when I was like 40, and it was like doing that with like 25-year-olds.
I get the best shape of my life. Get jujitsu.
Well, they didn't do any. He didn't do anything wrong. It was all me. It was all me. But But, you know, and then I tried golf. You know, my wife did that. And then I started doing the woodwork. And it was like, man, that really, it struck me. And I think it's I think that misses from, a lot of people miss that from their lives, is that they're accomplishing something that, and even if it's, you know, whatever, some crappy little thing, you
just
did
the
it.
creation.
Yeah,
I think it was none of that stuff was touching your creativity, maybe.
Yeah.
You know,
and
the
that's the
creativity
thing,
bug.
you use your mind. So I've done everything as a job before I was on the slope. I mean, I did construction. I mean, that I did, you know, landscaping. I was a paralegal for a while, believe it or not.
I don't believe that. But.
I was working for BP. My first real office job. My wife was like, "This construction stuff is not cutting it." I was going to school to be a teacher. I was like maybe a semester short of it, and I realized I don't want to be a teacher. Nothing against teachers, but it wasn't. It wasn't for me. And so I got an office job because I'd been working construction, you know, building houses, doing whatever kind of thing. And I was the courier working for Nana on a big, huge legal case. And had some people tell me, there's no male paralegals. You might want to do that, especially with as much schooling as you have. Go over there, get your paralegal degree. And they even paid for it for a big chunk of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the great thing about that is I learned how to write.
Yes.
I learned how to write. And structure an argument.
Yep.
That was real good. And this was from a guy that I was a word processor guy. And there was one time my wife was like, do this report, use a computer. And I'm typing and I'm like, why are my words going off the edge of the screen? Why can I not see? What I mean, it was so horrible. I'm almost embarrassed by it. But no, so I did that. I was a paralegal for a while with BP and working for Nana for British Petroleum on a couple of big cases. And thing I found is I didn't like lawyers, but I did like engineers. Yeah. And really what I did as a paralegal was more project management type of thing. Like, hey, we've got this case going. We're this many days out. We need you to figure out, you know, kind of schedule out what we've got to do to get into this case. And I kind of got more into that. And I had a construction background and I knew how to read drawings from construction and worked my way kind of into that, and you know, finally finished up an undergraduate degree and did a master's degree in project management, and had done construction stuff forever. I mean, that's where we first met. Was working up on the slope, doing jobs up there. Yeah, you know, and just
I have something about that when you're done that we need to get back to.
Okay,
well, it's probably write it down so you don't forget.
Oh no, I won't.
But you know, it's just, you know, you get into that and you're not, like I said. You never finish anything you start. You never start anything you finish.
Not tangible.
That sense of accomplishment kind of gets lost.
It does.
I think that's what a lot of people lose nowadays is I'm a big Jordan Peterson fan. I don't know if anybody
Jordan
you guys
Peterson's
know him.
Good.
I mean, I'm not a blind disciple.
You got to look cool.
Yeah, but the guy says some facts. He just spits facts. And a lot of people are lost nowadays just because they think, and I Instagram a lot. My kids make fun of me. I'm the hashtag dad, you know, type of thing. It's either that or I'm a dad hole is what they call me.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
But my kids have a million of them.
Yeah.
but they're both very smart. But, you know, you kind of lose that and you lose that sense of actually generating something. I'm a huge believer in vocational education.
Yes.
I mean, as far as, don't go spend $80,000 to get a liberal arts degree or do this. Go spend, you know, it's expensive. Vocational education expensive, but go be a carpenter. Go be an electrician.
Learn a craft.
There's such a lack of that. My brother's a plumber, and he's like, there's no young plumbers. Yeah. He's the youngest plumber. And
they
he's
can
about to be
charge
40.
whatever they want.
Yeah, like if you want to go do something, go be a plumber. Go be a carpenter.
That's
electrician.
how it is in the auto body collision world, dude.
Yeah.
There's the best of the best are like 38 to 60.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nobody that's like, 27 and just a rock star. Like, they don't
You
want
don't
to
know
do
it
that
yet.
shit.
You can't all be YouTube stars, kids. Hello.
Like,
you can't all be YouTubers.
You need to turn
And here
around,
you-
swing a hammer, spread mud, learn a craft.
Yeah.
You can get
know?
an easy start here with the King Career Center too.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
man. And the
take
jobs
I
in
wish
advantage.
they would
Alaska.
have had that when I was going to high school.
Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
I originally wanted to be an architect, and I went to, you know, that's what I thought I wanted to do, and I took drafting. And I'm going to throw him under the bus. But thanks a lot, Mr. Rios, because he told me, you cannot draw. you
And
can't
look what
draw
you're
a
doing
straight
now.
line with a ruler. You need to find something else to do.
Right.
So I was like, oh, I'll be a teacher. So, no, he was great teacher, and but he would very honest guy.
Yeah.
But
Those are the best teachers.
Yeah,
Just
he-
tell you
he
the
was-
truth.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah,
this
like,
isn't for
this
you,
isn't
buddy.
for you, man.
yeah. But no, and I think a lot of people just that for some reason that's not viewed as a profession.
Yeah.
It's not viewed as something that
It's not. There's no glory.
there's no glory in it. But you know what? You know who you're gonna when your car's not running, who you're gonna go see when you're
Yeah.
you have a water leak, who you're gonna call.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
You know?
There's no glory, man.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I mean that's the I didn't mean you said you had
Oh
something to
yeah,
say,
so
but-
we'll jump into it. So Aaron, you're killing it now. You're up there killing it for Hill Corp.
yeah.
But so how Aaron and I met is really interesting, at least to me and a lot of other people that have been working in a crazy environment. I mean, we're up in Prudhoe Bay working long days on these oil wells that were drilled in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and very few cents. And we're right on the coast. There's salt air blowing. And they're not building shit out of stainless steel, so there's a lot of rust, corrosion, stuff like that.
Crusty.
And at the time, probably when we met, there's probably 1,900 wells. I think there's like about
We had Milne too
1,650.
at the time, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was probably 2,000.
And our group, this wells group that would go maintain wells, would have to jump from well to well to well to well, and to get into these wells, they have these little boxes built around them, and they're not that little. How tall is a well house? Like 15,
15
feet?
to 22.
Yeah, 15 to 22 feet tall, steel box that's sitting up in the salt in these like super harsh conditions for
The worst of the worst.
40 years. And, they have hinges and all this other stuff, and all this stuff
Corrodes
breaks, falls off, and
Just falls apart.
So all these super badass dudes that are out there, trying to keep the oil production in the pipeline
At 80 below.
blowing hard. You can't see shit. They don't have, you have it was like Dana's story, where he's double booted up, but you're double booted up. You have all the crazy thick Arctic shit on, and you're climbing up this ladder. The wind's blowing sideways. You can only see 7-8 feet in front of you. You're dealing with high pressure, all this other stressful things. And then you go to open this giant well house door on the top to go, basically engage in this well with whatever type of equipment you had. And then the fucking hinge breaks, and this like 500-pound door like falls down and almost kills your buddy, and
It blows off and
just crazy shit. And so no one could ever get a handle on this. We could never get it fixed. There's so many wells. There's too many wells. And they brought in Aaron Sweeney. And his crew was called the Hot Shot Crew because they could fucking fix this shit. So they'd go out and we'd be like, hey, we're going to go here. He'd send an inspector to go out there. They'd figure out like, okay, these are the problems that might be out there. And then they'd get that shit fixed before we showed up. And I mean, this is like overnight. Like the night I'm about to go to sleep, oh, we're moving to the next well. Hey, we need to go to this thing. And by the next morning, we can go back out and do that. And so there's a ton of dudes that are anywhere from like 30 to 50 now that just felt so much more comfortable going to work because of this guy.
Wow. Some behind the scenes.
Yeah, he's a bad dude.
Like the glory,
Fixed a lot of shitty wells.
Right there's another thing. Like there's glory there with the guys that knew you, but it's such an intricate, important thing that you were doing. But it was kind of like that wasn't in the headlines. That wasn't anything that they talked about with oil production. That was something that was uniquely special in a craft, right? Like you guys obviously were dialed.
Yeah, well, that's the thing we had is I had a couple of great foremen, one that had all the energy in the world, and then one that had done everything and fabricated everything.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, we were using Visio to do drawings. We were field managed projects at the time. We were able to, come up with our own stuff and, kind of be our own masters of our own domain or destiny, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. No Seinfeld references here, but
let's not date ourselves now.
Yeah. Oh, I'm dated. All right, but no, we had a good crew, and man, these guys would come up with, hey, I'm going to shave off $500 off doing this. And the fact that we were doing it 200 times, you know, that's $1 million.
Yeah.
Or not, that's 100,000.
100,000.
Yeah, 100,000. But I mean, I would tell these guys, we're not going to save $1 million all at once. We're going to save $100 10,000 times. Yeah. And these guys took it as a challenge. I mean, really all I did was, I always joke when I come in and take over a new team is I played football, you know, I was a lineman. Yeah. I blocked. I wasn't allowed to touch the ball unless shit really went wrong. And then all I did was fall. I fell on the ball. That's what. Don't try pick it up. Don't try doing anything. Truth will love that. But don't try doing anything. Just fall on it. You don't score touchdowns. That's not what you do. And I had a very good team of guys. Yeah. You know, they educated me. At the same time, I blocked. Yeah. And that's what I did. You know, what they did was. Those guys, it was a couple of foremen in the field with me doing budgets for them, doing schedules for them, and hey, do we need a drawing? Because I can do a drawing for you. Yeah. I can mark some stuff up. You know, I can read a table and a chart and you know, intersect across the table and figure out what size of steel we need. I can do that for you. Yeah. But I mean, it was good. It was good. That position it was a career maker.
What did you say the name of the team was?
The Hot Shot.
The Hot Shot crew?
Hot Shot crew. They were the Well Shelter Integrity
So
Hot
it's
Shot
cool
crew.
because it had multifacets, you know, and the part that Aaron's talking about is like, you know, delivering like a successful project, which their team did. Yeah. They killed it. But the part that I saw was the human response. You know, these dudes that they all had kids. These people, they all had lives outside of the slope, and they have to show up in these harsh conditions. And then there's this uncertain. You can deal with pressure. You understand like what's happening with the well and all that, but then you have this uncertainty with the well houses and the other kind of stuff that was going down. And when your team came in and executed all these problems that we were highlighting for so long and that no one else would do, and you guys were doing them fast and before we got there, then people went in there with more reassurance that like there wasn't going to be this avalanche that came down on them unexpectedly. And I saw that part, like kind of the human factor. And that's the part that like I really appreciated.
Well, and it's small stuff. So I was out at, I think it was Mike S-Pad, and there was an operator out there, and I don't know if he should have been doing what he was doing at the time, but he was trying to get one line off another by banging in some dunnage between the lines because they were rubbing.
Yeah. Dunnage?
Just wood, 4x4s.
Okay.
You know, type of thing. Just type of thing.
Dunnage? I never heard of that.
Yeah, and he was trying to bang him in, and I went over there.
Dunnage or what?
And I was there.
Yeah, I like that word. Dunnage?
Yeah. Dunnage is a good term. We use it at cidery a lot.
Dunnage is like
tanks.
Dunnage is how I felt Sunday morning.
There's a lot of dunnage right under your pillow.
Yeah, so he was over there.
Dunzomatic followed by dunnage.
Yeah, Dundada.
We're going to turn that. It's going to be like
Dundeely.
Yeah.
Got dunnage.
Hashtag dunnage.
We got a new term. Hashtag dunnage.
Yeah, hashtag dunnage. But he was over there trying to bang in some dunnage.
Some dunnage?
I feel like a complete idiot. Yeah.
Trying to bang some dunnage.
Drop in fancy words where you don't need them. It's not a it's not a sniglet, I swear. But he was trying to bang in it, and I went over there and I helped him do it.
Yeah.
And the number one thing about that project at the time was really getting people to believe that we meant it. We were going to actually fix stuff, because there were some people that really got hurt from some of the things associated with it. I mean, A22.
Yeah. And that's a big no-no up there, getting hurt, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You don't get hurt on projects.
Not good. Yeah. So going and doing that, and I would go to all these meetings. A lot of it was road showing, a lot of it was presentations, and that was where the paralegal came in. You know, the writing and such like that.
Yeah.
So going over there and doing those, and I was at a meeting with the West Side operators meeting, where they don't really
a hard situation.
Yeah, they don't really believe a lot of what they're told at the time. And I go in there and I start talking about what we're doing, and that guy stood up and said, "Hey, you know what? He was out at my pad 2 days ago helping me bang it, dunnage." Banging it. And that got a lot of street cred.
Yeah,
and
hell
it was
yeah.
just going and doing what's right. I mean, going and, you know, maybe it was
showing up right.
Maybe it wasn't, we weren't doing the right thing. You know, that's debatable. But doing the right thing by helping a person.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
and that's, we kind of went around.
That's the Alaska way, man.
Yeah.
Help somebody.
Yeah. So
That's it.
I mean, that's kind of the way I was brought up. That's how I was raised. Remember how you make somebody feel.
Yeah.
They're going to remember that a lot more about how good you were actually at your job.
Yeah.
How you make them feel is going to be important. But, we started doing that, and it's been good. I mean, I was a contractor at the time, and it helped me out a lot. I mean, I was supposed to go to the slope for a year is what my wife said. She was like, I can do anything for a year.
I'm going to bake it up for a year.
2005.
Yeah.
And I've been on a rotation
Pretty much since.
ever since then.
Yeah.
But no, it's good. And it's, it was good.
I've always been a firm believer in when you're working in an environment or a place where your work or your result of your work affects someone else's ability to do a job, that they're like a customer.
Yes.
I use this in the auto body world. Like when an auto body collision technician repairs a dent, and the quality of that repair translates over to the painter who has to now paint that area that was repaired. So as a lead position or a role where you're always looking for opportunities to better the situation, or always look to put a foot forward, is that I always say treat the next guy like he's your customer. Give him a product he can work with.
Yeah.
And the next guy, everyone is a customer.
Yeah.
My wife is a customer. I mean, if you don't treat your wife right, if you don't treat your kids right, they ain't going to treat you right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, and that's, I don't mean it to sound that transactional, but
No,
it really is.
It is. I mean, if you were the guy receiving if you're Jack getting ready to go do the service work on that well, you just did him such a service to provide him a safe working environment where he can confidently work with his team to do his job, so that the next guy coming in behind him can now do their job.
Yep.
You're just giving that guy the best opportunity to win, to be successul.
Yep.
It's a huge dynamic. And with that, I wanted to, I'll take one. Yeah, I'm ready. We talk about customers. We talk about service. The Treehouse AK, your one-stop dispensary located at 341 Boniface Parkway. Be sure to ask the bud tender about the deal of the day, because, guys, honestly, there's always something good on deck. This is where the culture lives. At the Treehouse, their dedication to servicing consumers has been developed through a lifetime of involvement in the cannabis culture. They're committed to providing the highest quality products at whatever value your budget affords, while always maintaining the deep-rooted principles that have carried them this far. Their focus is on relationships over transactions, and you can always depend on them to treat you with respect you deserve. Hit them up at thetreehouseak.com. Always remember, you must be 21 years of age to enter the store, and go check out Treehouse.
Yep. And we just signed another sponsor really quick. I know it's just gold, but I'm just going to give a quick shout out to AKO Farms.
I dig it. Yeah.
That you can find at the Treehouse. And this is another lifetime Alaskan out of Sitka, who they love the podcast, and all their products are in Anchorage and Fairbanks and Wasilla and all over the place. And AKO Farms is, doing their thing, and they signed up for another sponsorship. So shout out to them really quick too.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because something dawned on me. Our manager, Rena, she's just absolute badass rock star. You know what? I'm just going to call it out. She
was texting me and setting us all up. She's
committed to this. Yeah. And she's you know what, behind the scenes, there are a lot of people that don't know what's going on with the preparation of all this that goes into this podcast. We couldn't do it without her. She's been absolute rock star for us. I love her. Where was I going with that?
With AKO.
Oh, yeah, thank you. It dawned on me, she sent us a group text.
Can I get one of those? Sorry.
Oh, for real?
Go ahead.
Into that? What dawned on me when she sent us a group text today, and she's like, "Hey, man, they signed up," and I'm like, you know what? It's really setting off. Like, the marijuana industry is obviously, it's legalized, been years ago. There's stores and dispensaries and all this stuff thrown up all over town, but the fact that they want to get in on this really, like, it makes me feel really good. Like they're not scared, man. Get your name out there.
Yep.
All right. Marijuana's not scary. Marijuana is okay. It's illegal. It's legal in Alaska. There's CBD. There's flower. There's so many different ways to enjoy it, to reap the benefits of it, and it makes me proud to be on the forefront of promoting it.
Yeah.
You know, it may sound corny, but I mean, it to me means.
Well,
a lot.
I think there's a big stigma there that needs.
That's what I'm getting at, Daniel. Is like, let's be one of the guys that break the stigma.
Yeah.
Okay, it's okay, everybody. We all smoke weed. We all enjoy marijuana. We've been doing it forever.
Yeah. Some of the boys that can on the slope and all that, we understand that. But a lot of us we got families, we got kids, we got businesses.
Yeah.
That doesn't slow us down. We're not, I think the visual portrayed like scene of that is not true. At least not up here, because you got a lot of people that are very successful in a lot of things.
Yeah.
And guess what? They're going to the treehouse.
Yeah.
They're getting AKO farms. And, you know, it's a stigma that we grew up with and our parents grew up with, but our kids probably are not going to grow up with, which is kind of positive.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of benefits.
Yeah, because my grandparents are always like, "Oh, it's the devil's," and it's like, I just want to, you know, we've been promoting it. The Treehouse AK, love the boys over there, the guys and the gals over there. Josh, he's our boy, and we've been doing it like PC. And I'm thinking like, I'm just ready to be raw and real about this. There's no sense in holding back. It is now becoming entrenched in our culture in Alaska.
Yep.
It's here, everybody. So,
it's actually on my gear list of things that I bring on a sheep hunt, because it's something that's going to settle me down at night. It's going to help me go to sleep. It's going to help me recover.
What about that vape when it's windy? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, little things like that. I mean,
yeah,
it's okay to drink around your kids. You know,
it's okay to do what you are going to do.
Yeah, be an adult and be responsible.
Be responsible. Exactly. Obviously, there's limits and there's things that you need to do and be careful. But I'm not really sure where I was. Like, I just kind of went off on a tangent on that. I'm just
good.
I'm kind of over tiptoeing with it. I support it. I'm with it. It's part of my lifestyle. It's part of the culture in Alaska that I live.
It is a part of culture.
You know, and like, you know, Aaron and the Slope Boys, they can't get down on that. And you know what? I know when they retire and go do their own thing and start living their lives outside of that realm of what they do, I know a lot of them are going to get back to doing what they did when they was a kid or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
and
we want to be authentic in everything we do, and none of these sponsors that we bring on, these are people that we actually support them, and we use their products, and we're just going to be honest with that. And speaking on that, one more sponsor that signed up is the Bait Shack AK, the Bait Shack Dustin Slinker.
Dustin, man,
listen, if you don't have time to go out of town, they are killing them right now downtown, dude. Ship Creek is popping,
king
dude.
after king right now.
Go to the Bait Shack on Instagram.
That was one of my favorite podcasts you guys did. Heather's Choice, and then Adam, and then his.
And Dustin?
Dustin's.
Dustin's a G,
dude.
That was pretty good.
Yeah,
that was pretty good
Oh,
stuff.
man.
I haven't listened to the Mountain Climber guy yet. I just haven't had a
Dana.
chance. Yeah,
Kevin
Dana.
Yeah, that one's
amazing.
a really good one too, man.
But the one with him, I didn't realize he did that much stuff for
Yeah,
the local
tons.
community. I mean, Jesus, the fishing community in Anchorage would be dead.
Yeah. And
if it wasn't for Dustin, that would have died, and we would just be driving over the Ship Creek Bridge, looking down at nobody.
Yeah.
There'd be some locals catching fish and everything, but he's bringing something to the culture of Anchorage with that.
Yeah.
And really
It's
quick,
really
just a
badass.
shout out for him on June 19th. I know it's Dude's Day that day, and we actually can't participate in his event down at the Bait Shack, but that's the kids' day. Yeah. That is the day that you can bring your kid.
That's right.
Yeah, dude. You can bring your kid down. They have a section of the river from the bridge up until the little
blocked
the
off
little
for
block
kids
off for
only.
kids only,
Yep.
free. You do not need anything. He's supplying the
Rods,
rods, the reels,
bait.
the bait,
Yep.
everything.
Nice.
They'll clean it. They'll package it. They just want to have kids enjoy.
There's hot dogs,
that
potato
thing.
chips, sodas. I mean,
Listen.
if you're a parent, you don't got nothing going on that day, bring your kid down.
Yeah, stop
Get
by
a line
Dude's
in
Day.
the water.
Stop by Dude's Day.
Cheaper than Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, go
You got that right,
cheaper.
Aaron.
And way
Absolutely,
cooler
man.
for Alaskans getting out of the house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's right there. There's no excuse. It's right there. You don't got to ride out to Seward or Russian
Yep.
River or whatever.
Yep.
And he's
Catch
going
a
to provide
tide and go
everything.
fishing.
He's got food trucks that are bringing free things.
Yeah.
It's going to be a really amazing time. And speaking of that, we do plan on doing a live podcast from the bait shack. I think we're going to go live with Dude's Day. Is it the 16th that we got it scheduled?
Yeah, the Wednesday.
From the bait shack. And that's when the Slam and Salmon's going on. If you haven't checked that out or from Anchorage, I mean, it's popping down there, dude. He's got a really nice. He built a deck. He wants me to put a hot dog stand down there. He's building an entire community of fishing in Anchorage, which is amazing.
Posting Cromers on the daily out there.
Yeah, check them out.
Dads and moms and kids, and just it's a beautiful thing, man.
Cromers.
Fresh King.
Fresh fish.
Fresh spring. They haven't turned colors.
They got the sea lice. Cromers. You just lick that sea lice off.
But is he doing dunnage?
Dunnage, dunnage and chromage.
He's catching so many fish they need dunnage.
He's pulling in some dunnage.
He's pulling in some dunnage.
Landing some dunnage.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. And we got some other sponsors coming up. We're not going to shout them all the way out yet because they're coming. They're coming.
Yeah.
And if you want to if you got something cool going on, I mean, you support us, we support you. Check us out. Jack, did we get to the trivia yet?
No.
I think it's a good time.
I got
for that.
trivia.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Let's
let it rip, Tanner Chip.
Yeah. Let's do it. All right. What's up? Let's start it off with something appropriate for Aaron and I's my previous life. Aaron's soon to be. How many more years you got?
I don't know.
Yeah. Let's just keep
Depends
it secret.
on 5 to 7.
He says,
Right.
"Hey, honey, one more year."
No, I think honey's like, this is your last year.
All right. So, I mean, as a Alaskan, I love our protection of our environment, but I do believe in Prudhoe Bay. I mean, it funded what we have here and the life we've had, and hopefully, give our kids a good Alaska life, and
Keep
then we got to find something.
Let me say this:
pumping oil.
It's the future of Alaska oil is a lot better now, than it was a year ago.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that feels
with Hillcorp being
it
here,
is.
I agree. Now we do need something after oil, so Double Shovel's doing their part. It's
I think that's part of tourism.
But who else is going to do that? So all you entrepreneurs out there, get your shit rolling. But
hell yeah.
So Prudhoe Bay is pretty important. What year was the discovery well drilled?
Ooh, hold on now. You can't answer. You work up there. You're last answer.
You go last.
Let me get it way wrong.
There's no going over. It's just whoever's closer on this one.
No Price is Right.
Yeah, it's always Price is Right.
It's
called
called
Jack Barker over here.
Prudhoe State 1 is the name.
Stage 1 or State 1?
State 1. Prudhoe Bay.
Is that
State
so?
1.
You're talking the first drill.
Yeah, the first discovery well. When they looked at the logs that they ran and they said, "Oh shit, there's oil."
That's the one in front of by PBOC, right?
Let me hold my Dave Moore.
Trying to remember.
You've seen a sign a few times.
I'm
You've
trying to
walked by
remember.
that.
I've got it one or
in
two
phase
years.
3.
Visualize the comb over.
Yeah.
He struts in the room.
1968. My guess.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I was thinking 1961.
Okay.
For some reason, 67 is sticking in my head.
Oh yeah.
67,
Right,
68, 61.
Yeah, you are so close, Daniel, because it was drilled in December 26, 1967.
Oh, right
man.
there.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, nice work, Aaron.
Yeah.
I thought it would be earlier just because everybody thought it would be late 60s, early 70s, but there was this, they did it way early, a decade earlier. There's somebody that punched one.
Well, one thing about the slope, too, is hopefully everybody understands it is subsurface geographical, the slope.
Yeah.
Subsurface geographical.
So the slope is 200, 400 miles of nothing but flat.
Yep.
There's the only trees up there. Actually, I've seen one tree.
Where?
By U4 building. There's
kind of tree is
it's
it?
more of a shrub than a tree.
Oh, okay.
But over by U4
found one.
behind MCC. So
Now, did someone plant that?
I have no idea how.
I think a lot of people, maybe use that as a restroom at one point, and something just came out or something.
Someone dropped a seed there.
But most of it is it's really
Someone
it is
did.
flat for 400
fertilizer?
miles. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't understand. There is beauty in that.
Yeah.
I mean, the isolation and the desolation's the wrong word because it hasn't been desolated. It's just there's not a lot there.
There's nothing, man. Like,
I mean, it's
Just
flat as hell.
mosquitoes and
it's
caribou.
isolation. Like,
Yeah.
When you picture being isolated, it is that. It is. You feel like you're in North Dakota. It's not Alaska.
No. Some of the coolest,
nuts.
I mean, I've driven on the Arctic Ocean. That was one of the coolest things I've done, going out to North Star and just being, I mean, if you get 20 feet in the air, you can see forever.
Yep.
I mean, it's just,
It's like being on the water.
Yeah.
So the nearest thing is the Brooks.
Yeah.
So
that's
like
it.
about pump station 3 is where you start getting some
little
change in the
hills.
geography. Yeah.
Man, we should get into an entire slope thing. Now that it got me thinking about
Oh,
it.
you get me going all day on that.
Yeah, we should think about somebody who could
because
bring
a lot
in
of people don't know how it all really goes down, dude.
So it's really the
state
reason
they live in, you
they
know?
could really isolate the oil is it was the geographic formation was a lot like Iran.
It was a trap. Yep.
Yeah, it's a lot like Iran. That's how in Iraq. That's how they figured it out. I mean, that's how the guy that picked all the oil lands for the state of Alaska.
Oh yeah. What was that geologist's name? But I've had that.
Some Miller.
That would have been a good
My dad
trivia
has
question.
made me at Petroleum Club as a little kid go up and say thank you to that guy.
Yeah, it's Miller or something.
Man,
like that.
I forget
Jack
his
Miller
name,
or
but
Steve
he
Miller?
flew up there, right? And it was like, oh, I see what's happening here. You can see, the shelf, what's happening there with the slope, and it was like, we need to reserve these lands for the state.
Yeah.
He just knew that.
What was the name on that?
We gotta look it up.
Yeah,
Miller.
but all the
Miller.
geography.
Next trivia.
Trivia question.
Next trivia.
All the
Next
geography he used was Iran. The oil field of
It's
Iran.
a similar trap. Yeah.
Yep.
Massive trap.
Yep.
All right.
We
So
diverge. I'm sorry.
So I have
we
I have so many cool
trail
stories
off.
about the slope.
There you go. You got your first
Oh
guess.
man.
That might have to be a 2 or 3 part series.
Yeah.
I'd like to really get in like some different people from different walks of how
Well,
they
I've got 2 grandfathers that were pioneer truckers.
Oh yeah.
We're the ones hauling pipe. Those trucks get
And
stuck
dunnage.
in the mud and dunnage. Aaron,
dunnage.
Can't have
Yeah.
pipe without dunnage.
I mean, it was
How do you spell dunnage?
Dunnage.
Yeah.
just
That's
the
a
way it
real
sounds.
word?
Oh hell yeah, it is. You use it to support if you're
Hey,
gonna fall. If
so
someone's
is-
gonna fall,
so is
like you're
stiction.
lifting tanks at the cidery, you're
use
tilting
dunnage.
them.
Yeah.
You put
So it's a
dunnage under them.
support?
So then if you lose your tension, if your cable falls, if something fails,
so there's actually a
then it
technical-
stops. Yeah. Dunnage is very important.
Loose wood, matting, or similar material used to keep a cargo in position in a ship's hold.
Oh, but there's another word for that. What do you call when you like just
Secure.
A wedge?
No, not a wedge. There's another word.
Secure.
No. They're they sell little strips and they call it something. Where you're gonna just
That's
trivia.
a wedge.
No, it's not a wedge. It's something. It is a wedge.
Block.
No,
Like
no.
you know, like if you're gonna
They
frame
sell
a door,
little tiny pieces of wood. I always thought they'd be good fire solders, but they use it to like
It's a
wedge
chalk.
something up.
A chalk.
It
No,
looks like a chalk, but if you're gonna frame a door and
Oh, a
it's
shim.
a shim.
Thank you.
Shim.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say dunnage is a shim.
No, this is like if it falls.
Okay,
Like, this
so maybe a
supports
miniature
it.
dunnage. Is a shim?
No, still
am I
not.
off? Okay.
Yeah, shim
I don't
is
know.
just
I'm not that
like
guy.
this table in our studio won't quite sit right, so I cut some cardboard, slipped it under the table legs,
shimmed it.
and I
That's
shimmed
a
it.
shim, yeah.
That is, I did not dunnage it.
Your podcast just fell asleep.
All right,
Yeah, they
Sorry,
did.
guys. We went
right.
full slope on.
we're
you
going
there.
to
All right,
next.
but hey, we should get down on that pipeline thing because there's a sick ass, amazing history of it that a lot of people don't know
Yep.
shit about.
Yeah,
You know
we'll, get
who's
that, we'll get to that in the winter.
Super
So-
good too. I'd highly recommend. I took 2 classes from him at UAA, and I'm trying to remember his name. He's a professor of history over there. But he
Dave
wrote
Moore.
No, it's like O'Reilly. It's O'Reilly.
No,
he
there's
wrote
several good
several books on how the World War came into World War II.
Oh, nice.
And then like civil rights and all that stuff. I think his name, his something O'Reilly. He
Okay.
would be awesome to get. Or Haycox, Stephen Haycox
Yeah,
over
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Oh gosh, I mean they'll geek out on Alaska on you all day. But
Yeah, that'd be
I had to take classes from several of them. That'd be a great.
That's
guest
money,
to get
huh?
on here.
All right.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Trivia number 2.
Bring it.
yeah.
All right. What was the first day production from the North Slope started? So we drilled the wells in 1967. So when did the first production start?
I'm gonna say 76.
Son of a bitch, I was gonna say the same thing.
Stuff takes time. I'm gonna go with 76
Yeah.
for me.
What was the first drill? What year was it again?
68 was the Discovery.
The Discovery.
1978.
No,
10 years
before
later.
you answer that, is the Discovery well still producing?
No.
No,
It
they've
never.
moved on from that.
I don't think there's.
Oh, never
No,
produced.
it never produced.
No.
Oh,
It's like right, and it's in a parking lot of one of the camps or CO2.
is there like a flag or something?
Yeah, there's a well there with the big bollards around it. There's another word for
gotcha.
it. No dunnage.
It's
but
like a
bollards.
monument.
No dunnage. there.
So
they were
Maybe-
like,
is
yep,
it
there's
shimmed?
oil.
Is it shimmed?
So I think they drilled
They
it
shipped
and
it,
probably
they shimmed it.
abandoned it on
Yeah,
site,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So they would.
Okay.
So when they do this thing, there's like 3 steps. They drill the well for if you're doing exploration, and you core it and you get your logs out, but then you don't know if you're going to come back. So while the rig's there, you pump your cement and you get all the isolation from the reservoir, and you leave it basically how it was. Like you put cement where the rock was, nothing's leaked surface, blah blah blah. And then when you find the oil, then you go kind of pick different spots that you want to punch other holes in.
Like, what's the distance between those?
Lots of miles.
Miles and miles between.
Lots of miles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do they go like in a
wide is
circumference, or?
Prudhoe's like 90 miles wide? Is that
Yeah,
right?
something like that. I actually
damn.
just sat through a little presentation on
lot.
it from
That's
the reservoir engineer.
That's just a guess.
So if you catch,
Prudhoe Bay is huge though. Like most
Yeah.
oil fields are small.
Yeah.
This is the biggest oil field in North America's history, right?
Even
one of the
bigger than
biggest-
anything in Canada?
Yeah.
Is it?
way
Oh.
in
bigger.
comparison
really?
worldwide, like where does it sit as far as?
Saudi
Number
Arabia
10
leads
or
it.
something?
Yeah, it's huge.
Top
but I mean,
10?
Yeah.
It's a diminishing oil field. I mean, and the other thing that's got is a ton of gas, which has not been capitalized.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, they're re-injecting the gas to keep the oil pressure
Right.
reservoir up,
And if
and
they
then
didn't
also
do
water,
that,
seawater. They re-inject seawater too.
if they did, so if it was an oil field in lower 48, we would have been at oil 25, 30 years ago. But since we re-inject the gas, it keeps the pressure up, which allows us to pull the oil out from the bottom of the reservoir.
Yeah.
Oh, got
So
it, got it.
it's like a love-hate thing. It's
Yeah.
really good that we haven't pulled the gas out yet, but at some point we need to build a gas line.
Well, the
Yeah.
big limiter on
Well,
Prudhoe
we've
is-
had some governors trying to do that, and what's your guys' opinion on that? Is that like we got to do it?
Quick and short, though. Not to get too crazy. Like, just, are you in or not?
Well, I
You
mean,
keep the pressure up as long as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you build a gas line.
Yeah.
So that, it's nice to start pushing stuff 10 years ahead.
yeah. The problem
Nice.
with Prudhoe is, and I'm going to go on another dunnage thing. The problem with Prudhoe is not Prudhoe. It's because it's economical way past the end of its life. It's the Trans-Alaska Pipeline.
Yeah.
Once you get down to 200,000 barrels a day, you can't run it anymore because the paraffins and the wax and everything starts dropping out of the oil, and it starts clogging it.
Right.
Oh,
So
just
you-
sludges
Yeah,
up.
200,000 barrels a day with a 48-inch line is about as big as they can go. Is about as low as they can go.
So you can only
You'd have to
pump
do
so
like
much.
you'd have to go about a 24-inch line.
Because the rate gets so slow.
Yeah,
Right.
it slows
cools off.
down. And
But
just,
the factor that we have at our advantage is that there's all these other little discoveries.
Yeah.
So if they keep putting these little discoveries and the people in Alaska get behind them, like the stuff that's happening over with Oil Search right now,
yeah,
and
88
Conoco.
Energy is another one.
Yeah. If we get these small $100,000 barrel a day wells online, that they're going to be hot and they're going to keep Prudhoe going decades longer.
Got it.
But when we make the environment such, like you raise taxes or whatever it is, that all these other oil companies aren't coming in and exploring and investing the billions of dollars that it takes to actually develop the fields, then we're not going to have that extra flow in, and then that oil will be trapped in Prudhoe.
Oh, once the pressure's done, it's just like that's it. You can't get it
Well,
out.
it's not the pressure. Well, the pressure is the
Is it
number
the
one
dunnage?
factor. The dunnage is number 2 factor.
You don't want any dunnage
Yeah.
in the pipeline.
It will be dunnaged.
It'll be
Oh,
done. It'll be done.
Yeah,
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 definition of dunnage.
yeah.
So the pressure is
Officially
important,
done.
but we're re-injecting that. So
Yeah.
it goes to what Aaron's saying. Like there's a minimum flow rate with the big pipeline we have. The pipeline had up to 2 million barrels a day.
So it ran at about 2 million
That
barrels.
was at its peak.
At its peak, it ran at about 2 million barrels. It probably runs at about a little under 5 right now.
Right.
So,
And that's
from everything. That's
Yeah.
from Park. That's from Prudhoe Bay. That's from North Star. That's from Endicott. That's everything.
What's Prudhoe at, like 275 or 300 right now?
Yeah, right
Yeah.
around there.
So I mean, from 2 million, and it's been just
Wow. Damn.
also like the recovery factors and stuff. Like Prudhoe Bay is a gem. The people that have come in and worked on Prudhoe Bay, the whole team, everyone that's up there has basically created a longevity that is, 20, 30 years longer than any other field's ever been able to last. So it's kind of like a little modern miracle what's happening there.
You would geek out on some of the stuff they're doing in the Wells group as far as perfing and stuff like that. You would geek out. You would lose it.
And that's the direct correlation to the PFD.
Yep.
To paying for your family, paying for your Christmas, paying for your Hawaii, so paying for my kids' college, hopefully.
You can be
oil went away, they could tax everybody at 100% of their income, which there wouldn't be many people left making money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't come close to covering the state government.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even put a dent in it.
I think oil taxes is over 90% right now.
What?
Discretionary spending.
Right, discretionary.
How do you run a business on a 90% tax rate? That's
insane.
No,
where 90% of the discretionary spending for the state of Alaska comes from oil.
Oh, I got you.
As far as the total budget, it's about 50% comes from oil.
Yeah.
So,
which is still a shit ton.
Yeah.
Like without it, we're done.
Yeah.
Like dunnage.
Yeah.
We're playing that out, but that is officially dunnage. If there's no oil, this state can't
and it's
sustain.
done so responsibly now. So my dad, when he retired from from the EPA, worked for the Muni for a little while, and then he went to work for Alyeska right after the oil spill. Major screw up, terrible, horrible thing that happened. Tons of problems with it. If you want a good summary of it, listen to American Scandal podcast. That's got a great, great summary of the. It's a little left leaning, but it's done very well. If you,
there's a lot of accuracy to it.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of accuracy. It's done very well.
Yeah.
So they hired my dad after that. And he came in, and they had Russians come to Pump Station 1, which is at the very top of it's the first pump station.
Yeah, right off the coast, right?
Well, I mean, it's, 40 miles in, something like that.
Yeah. I'd say that's pretty damn close.
Yeah. So it's pretty close. So they had people from the Russian, I can't remember, I don't know if it's Rosneft or whatever, but they came over, and they were like, hey, okay, we know you've shown us the pump station. My accent's going to be horrible here.
Oh, you're going to go Russian?
Oh, I'm going to go Russian. I'm going to do
it.
Where is all the dunnage?
My wife will like that. She's Russian.
No, but they asked him, okay, we know what you've shown the reporters. You've shown us the oil field, your pump station. Where's the real one? Because there's no oil leaking out all over the place here. Show us the real pump station. And they take it seriously. There are some mess ups up there that have happened, no doubt about it. It's happened, and there's been some irresponsible things done. But largely, it's in everybody's self-interest to do it responsibly and do it environmentally sensitive as you can do.
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
and the biggest mess up that I was around was the 2006 pipeline spill.
Oh, God, yeah.
And what's crazy about that, so there, it's front page of newspaper. I'm 2 years into my career at BP, and, I'm an Alaska guy that is partially working for BP because I want to maintain our environment, and conserve it. And you're like, okay, where are the leaks at? And they're at the Caribou crossings. Caribou don't even use the Caribou crossings. They go under the pipeline to get out of the wind and stuff. But they, so this is where people get too smart when they're like, okay, well, we really need to take care of we really need to set it up for the migration. And to do that, you can't have pipelines above the ground at 10 feet in the air. The caribou won't go under them. We need to put the pipeline under the ground. And that's the one place they couldn't inspect and the one place that water sits. So the caribou crossings actually caused all the leaks that were in the paper. And, luckily we managed it well, and it didn't really harm the environment in a magnificent, catastrophic
What year was this, you said?
2006. Yeah. But, all the leaks were at Caribou Crossings.
Yeah. So most of the maintenance on the Trans-Alaska Pipeline is created by the fact that they created the maintenance, buried it.
Yep.
Mainline refrigeration units, several of them where they come in and freeze the ground, and they use thermosiphons to keep it from thawing and such. Most of the maintenance on the Trans-Alaska Pipeline is created by the need to satisfy some environmental. We're going to get murdered for this, I'm sure. You
need both sides.
Yeah,
for sure, 100%. I can sit on both
they've
sides.
done some dumb stuff.
But some of the things that have happened that have caused big problems been because whoever was designing it had to change their design because of an opinion or group versus like actual engineering. And like, okay, how do we preserve this in the best way we can and build our stuff the best way we can? And instead of doing that, they had to kind of bend their design. And that's unfortunate. And the good part is people learn from those things. So we definitely need the strong groups that are very environmentally cautious, and you need the gung-ho people, and we're going to meet in the middle. You just don't change your engineering design based on that.
It just needs a little more thinking, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at what was it? The Denali earthquake. What was it? The pipeline did exactly what it was designed to do.
It shifted, the road
ran
shifted
on the rails. And I mean, a lot of people don't know. Fun fact, put this as a thing. The pipeline actually grows a mile every summer. Not every summer or every year.
Yeah.
It grows that same mile.
Which is
because
heat.
of thermal expansion.
Yep.
It'll grow a mile longer because metal expands, and it's 800 miles long.
That's such an amazing task that they just engineered that entire thing for future.
That's why
movement.
it zigzags too. It zigzags as thermal expansion. Those are expansion loops. So when it grows, it doesn't.
Who's the godfather of that idea? Do we have a name?
Oh, geez.
I don't know who that is.
Is it a team? Is it like a group of
I couldn't tell you
men
that.
and women?
I couldn't tell you either. I mean,
But the best example is the photo that there's a photo from the earthquake that Aaron's talking about, and it's a photo of the Richardson Highway. It's really close to the Golconda. And so we have the shake, and
What year
it
was
wasn't
this?
even that big.
no, it was a 7.9 or something
Was
like
it
that.
that big?
It was centered on the Denali Fault or something like that.
Is this the one that rattled up Mentasta?
It wasn't
Yeah,
2 or
it
3 years
Okay,
ago.
yeah,
It was probably
Mentasta
like
got
5
ripped
years
up.
ago.
Yeah. And the road shifts. The road shifts at this one spot on the Richardson by, right on the fault. And I don't know, 5 feet on either side, 6 feet. I mean, you can see it. It's a great photo. The pipeline's right next to it, and it's fine. And you see where it's pivoted on the rails. So they had put the rails in for the seismic activity.
Yeah, with like Teflon, slides.
And so it slides. The pipeline just adjusts to the earthquake, but the road shifted. And so if you didn't have that type of thinking, that type of forethought on the seismic, the pipeline would have ruptured right there. But it would have ruptured a million times before that. But million's a little much. But it was really cool to look at. You're like, fuck yeah, these are like the people that were working on this 70 years, whatever.
And if you're listening, we're going to pull a picture of this up. We're going to pull a picture of this up. So if you're listening, just take a pause real quick. Go to our YouTube. Go to minute 206, 2 hours and 6 minutes. Pull it up. We're going to show a picture of the road next to the thing. We're going to find it and put it. Actually, can you pull it up?
Sure.
Can you try to find it real quick?
Yeah, I can.
I'm glad I got some Alaska into this because I was a little worried I wasn't your guys' normal thing as far as going out. And I do my camping and I do my
it's
RV
not all
and stuff,
about that.
But I was a little worried
no.
Oh my God, I'm going to put these people to sleep with talking about woodworking and dunnage.
No,
they're dunnaged.
Yeah, we might have put some people to sleep, but
It don't matter. Listen, we're doing this for us, man. If these people listen, they want to listen. If not, we're going to just keep on talking.
Yeah, no, it's that's the thing, Aaron. This isn't just like hunting and fishing podcast.
Yeah.
Like we all love that.
Yeah.
We're passionate about that. What this is about is Alaska and everything that's wild about this place.
Yeah, and you can't talk
Including
about
the
it without the oil
And
field.
what's more wild about some crazy motherfuckers that went out and built a pipeline in 80 below for how long did the pipeline take to build?
Oh God,
over a
probably-
decade?
Probably 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, or it was something like that. And like I say, my old grandpas that I got that like were old pipeline truckers. Like, what were you thinking that you wanted to go do that? I mean, the money must have been amazing. Obviously, that was probably the motivator. But
well, that's kind of right after like the Depression, and it kind of just
not that far. But the engineers the thought that went into, hey man, this thing might have an earthquake. Back then, and then now, and then to see it withstand it, and it actually succeed and not come apart.
If you want to get a feel for it, like I think it's called Pipeline. Crude Dreams was another one, and then the guy that used to be the mayor of Alaska, I think his name was thinking Jack Frost or something. He was the first, not mayor of Alaska, mayor of Anchorage. He was the first mayor of Anchorage, and he wrote a book called All American City. That's a good one. Highly recommend it. Real fast read.
Good question.
Read.
First mayor of Alaska. First mayor of Anchorage.
Of Anchorage, yeah.
What is it? Let's look it up real
I think
quick.
his name was Jack Frost for some reason.
That sounds like, no, Jack Frost is the guy who reads the new Sagaya commercials.
He used to, but I think he took it from there. I think I don't think that's his real name.
Maybe that's his dad.
$7.99 a pound.
Yeah. They'll dive right in for you.
Yeah, they'll cut off the heads and
ship them to your loved ones.
No, I mean, but what I was saying, Aaron, is just it's not all about that. Like fishing and hunting, all that stuff's great, man. But the history of Alaska, really what we're built on. You know what I mean? Obviously, the pipeline has been a huge. Oil is everything. We're all here today, because of that. You know,
which I don't think we ever answered this question.
The trivia question.
Yeah, what was the first year oil was produced? Did we ever answer that?
Didn't you? No, I don't think you told us the answer. I thought you did. I said 60. I said.
You said 76. You said 78.
You said.
I said 76.
78.
I did the 10-year mark.
I think it's actually right in the middle. I think it's 77.
It is 77.
77?
All right.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good job.
Okay,
Well,
we're going to do one more.
Okay.
And we're going to change the subject on this one a little bit.
Okay, I like it.
So we played in the salt this last weekend. Alaska has state animals. We have a bird, an insect that is a bird, a mammal. And what is the state marine mammal?
Otter.
Oh, son of a bitch, dude! Really?
That's a damn good.
How are you gonna
guess.
come at me with that?
No, I'm just thinking about when I used to go to.
I was gonna say the same thing. You beat me to it.
Otter? You're gonna say otter?
I was gonna say otter.
It's wrong.
You could say otter too.
So.
No. I'm not gonna say. Well, because you said it, I'm not gonna say it.
Well, it's not right, so don't say that one.
Okay.
Daniel's out. It was a good guess, though.
You know what I think when you ask these questions?
Sea mammal, right?
Sea mammal.
Sea mammal.
Marine mammal is
Marine
the
mammal.
correct terminology, I think.
Every time you ask these questions, they just remind me of when you used to go eat at that. Remember back in the day, they always used to have the Alaska
No soup for you?
No. It's like the placemat. They used to be the mat, it used to be all that thing. I think you pulled it out.
Oh, there we go.
There it is. Oh.
All right.
What was the old time Alaskan restaurant on Spinard?
Gwinnie's.
And they always had the map there with the thing and all the facts and all the stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And tallest mountain. The
bird.
Road,
the
state. This. Damn. It was a. Oh man, that might sound stupid. Is a polar? is a marine mammal?
It's a mammal, so it's got to be warm blooded.
Yeah.
It can't have feathers.
Seagull.
It's got to have hair. Give life birth.
A sea lion?
Okay. I said otter.
I think it's a humpback whale.
Oh, damn. You guys
I want to say polar bear, but that's crazy talk.
Oh, it could have been.
That is a
That's
sea-
a good
that's a
guess.
I mean, it lives in the sea ice and it like.
No, it's more
A polar
considered
bear
a whale
is a
than
marine animal,
Okay.
for sure.
Man,
But
I
that's
should've
not
went
what
with
it
that.
is.
So I went
It's-
with some whack ass seal.
All right, let's go for round two because you were closest.
Well, what was it?
Okay, what was it?
No, you go round two. Let's
round two.
we're gonna get a
You were the
second
so
shot?
Brandon was the closest with the polar bear.
With
comment.
the polar bear. Oh, okay.
beluga.
That's a good guess, but it's not right.
Oh, I think I might know.
Go for it.
Go.
Walrus?
No, that's damn close though. Damn close. Beluga's
Son
closer.
of a bitch. I mean, I said a seal on a seal.
Well, that's more a pinniped. Is that the same? Does that? I guess it's
Pinniped?
Isn't that what it
Oh
is?
man, you're
All right.
pulling it out.
It's
Hey man, Dave
a
Moore.
bowhead whale.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, that
an
makes
That makes a lot of sense
Arctic
now.
Because that's
mammal.
the one that the folks up north hunt. That's the coveted.
Yeah.
The bowhead whale is the
Oh,
coveted
speaking of
whale.
that,
A native whale hunter.
I've been running into some whale hunters.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
Down
and
at
I
the
got
stand
one
or
guy
what?
that's going to come by. Yeah, he's down there, and he's a retired whale hunter.
Oh, wow.
From Nome.
Oh,
I want to say Nome.
Is he like a chief or something? Or
Yeah, he's just retired. He's too old. He can't do it anymore. Chief. I don't know if that's the word.
No. There's a lead. There's a lead
Yeah,
hunter that has a. He
Yeah.
has a title.
harpooner is what he told me.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah, he was like the lead guy on
No,
the
there's
front.
the captain
there-
has a name. Okay, I'm my bad if
Yeah.
I said. I'm just saying. There's like
Look
a
it
lead.
up. We have the internet
Yeah,
right at
there's
our
a
fingertips.
lead
Okay.
whale
So
captain.
Were they using traditional methods?
He was.
Yo,
Okay.
crazy.
No, he was.
Damn.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we should have him on.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be really good.
Yeah, that's a very
Somewhat controversial, but
Yeah,
what
you
some
said
people
it.
don't know is that the Native Alaskans still are allowed to hunt their traditional hunting, and they have limited them to whatever is sustainable. And that happens in Norway and in Russia. The natives that are from those countries, even though whaling is illegal in a lot of places, the natives of certain countries that are traditional whalers are still allowed to get whatever they feel is right. And I want to say that they are allowed to. Now
in Nome.
in Nome,
Okay.
I want to say it was Nome.
Yeah.
It might have been Barrow, actually.
Yeah.
Now that
Well,
I think
is
about
it-
it.
Yeah, I think it's probably
Formerly, I think you have to say formally named Barrow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, now
for
it's
real.
now it's
starts
no,
with
it's
the
not
U
Barrow
and
no
ends
more.
with a
It's-
T. I know that.
Yeah, man, we should look that up real quick too.
So cousin Sammy was up there working as a physical therapist last summer, and they harvested a whale, and she got to participate in the harvest and watch them use every part of the whale,
Yeah.
which is awesome. But she also was awarded I don't know if she was she deserving of it. I'm not sure, but she was awarded some of the mucktuck, and we brought it to Yakutat this year.
I've had it.
Let me tell you, man. I've tried muck tuck.
pretty
Listen,
fishy,
4 or
man.
5 times, dude. I just can't. I can't, dude.
No, it's
Can't
not
get
good.
on board.
Listen, if someone offers it, I'm just gonna try it again and keep trying. Kind of like my mayo.
It's
Like
acquired taste,
I'm not
for
into
sure.
it.
Yeah, acquired taste is what I was going to say.
Yeah.
But I will say the seal oil, the oil that they use, man, it just you dip a carrot in there, it just
It's good.
it doesn't taste like anything.
Yeah.
It's so like clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
What'd you think, Aaron?
I had I guess it's all pickled, but I had it and it was, oh boy,
It was awful.
it was shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
It's
very
like something
strong
you've
taste.
never. You can't even like. What did it
I
taste
can't,
like?
I can't
chicken? It
equate.
doesn't
I
taste-
can't equate it to anything. No, I cannot. But I mean, I'm not a native Alaskan. I mean, I don't. That's not my culture.
Yeah.
So I.
Yeah. But it's beautiful. I work with a lot of teachers that are deeply rooted, Alaska natives, and they bring that in. And every time they offer me, I don't say no. I said, okay, I'll try it again.
Yeah, you got to show the respect. I mean.
Yeah. They bring it out. I'm going to try it, out of respect and a lot of love for that tradition and those kids that eat that way. And I mean, that's just amazing.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, no, it's like I'm doing a terrible job looking it up. I can't find exactly what I'm looking for some damn reason. I do know that the traditions are still very much alive.
Yep.
I know that the equipment has changed as like they go out and get a whale, they hook it up to a strap, when they use a loader and they pull it off.
Yeah.
So obviously with technological advances, and I'm sure to give them credit, they were always looking for a better way to pull those whales out of the water. They weren't like, well, we're just going to stick with this way because this is the way we did it back in 1870. They always wanted to figure out a way it was easier to get it up, to carve it up, and to share it with the community.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't just go to formerly of Barrow, it goes to the communities outside, and
Every
however
part.
many snow machine miles away to get a sled full of meat to the next family that's 90 miles away in another village.
I mean,
It's a
everything.
big
The bones
deal.
are like the structures of their homes.
No, I mean, it just, when you look back on it, it's like, to me, it's okay that it's changed and it's developed, because it was always an ever-changing and developing craft. It was always something.
it's like-
evolution.
Yeah, it's
Correct,
evolution.
Aaron,
Like
that's
we don't
exactly
hunt with
right.
spears anymore. Now we
Right.
have rifles and things like that.
Because
you
we're
know?
intelligent and we created things that made things easier. It's okay to accept
And
that.
It ain't easy
safer.
no matter how you do it.
No, and I don't care. Yeah, exactly. You think throwing a strap around the tail to throw that in a loader is easy? Somebody's getting wet. It's not an easy thing. Going out there and having that thing slap its tail and knock you off the boat and you almost die from hypothermia. There's nothing easy about that shit. It's not,
The technology makes it safer as well.
There you go.
And that is
Yeah.
a super important aspect.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't want people going out there. Like, if we would sit here and be like, okay, well, and it would be very judgmental, and that's not perspective any of us want to take, but like, hey, what's the traditional versus, modern way? And then you're like taking away life jackets.
Yeah. No, there's a
what
fine balance you gotta reach there.
Cool,
Yeah.
dude.
I think balance is the word there.
Yeah.
Right.
There is
Of
a
like
balance.
somewhat traditional, but yet it's safer because you don't want to lose, your elder's life just because he did this for the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So more power to them to keep those traditions alive.
Yep.
That's amazing.
For sure. And it's great that they're doing that.
Yep. So Aaron, what's I know you're doing Barney's sign. Who else you got lined up to do some work for?
I've got some realtor signs up. I owe my wife several projects.
What are those?
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Got some wine and whiskey barrels from Alaska Brewing and Midnight Sun that I'm going to make her some Adirondack chairs out of. And then we're probably planning, I've probably got 2 or 3 hitches left before we drive out of Alaska for the summer or for the winter. 2 or 3 years ago, 3 years ago, we started spending the winters in the lower 48. We bought a trailer and we've been driving around just kind of seeing things. Both of our kids moved out and we're free birds now, not empty nesters. I call it free birding. And so around
the cousin of the snowbird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the fun cousin of the snowbird.
Oh, okay. The one that doesn't eat dinner at 4:30 in the afternoon?
Oh God. 5:30 maybe. But no, so I've got that, going on. I've got a couple, just some stuff in and out. I normally work about 2 or 3 hitches ahead of, I get booked. And I try and leave a little room for going and enjoying Alaska. We like we're going to go to Quartz Creek probably this weekend. We love going to Homer. That's one of our favorite places. I mean,
Homer and Ninilchik, right?
Homer and Ninilchik is pretty sweet. Yeah. I would love to eventually, we live in Anchorage. I would love eventually to probably move down to a place like that and, kind of set up base down there. But both of our kids moved out of Alaska and we're going to, head out and see them in Colorado. They both love Alaska. They just moved out for work and business opportunities.
It's good for them.
Yeah, it's good for them. It's a little hard for us because we were very invested in our kids and we love them both. Caitlin and Cameron, we love both of you. They're both just
with a C or a K?
K for Caitlin and C for Cameron.
Okay.
They're just phenomenal kids. Their mom did an unbelievable job with them, and when I was there, I did the best I could. Kind of thing. So one of them's a construction manager. The other one bought a solar business. So their dad is working in oil, and she bought a solar. Her husband bought a solar business.
So she minimized your carbon footprint.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like karma. I use salvaged materials, and
good for her though, man. That's amazing.
Yeah. They really reached out and are stretching themselves for that. Really proud of both of them. So we'll head out and see them. Probably right around September. We'll drive out for the winter, and we had done that 2 years before. We didn't do it last year because of COVID. Actually, the end of our second year out was COVID started, and I pulled a 6er at work because they didn't want to have anybody come up. My wife drove the trailer back, probably had driven maybe 1,000 miles, towing the trailer herself.
Nice.
Drove the trailer all the way back from northern Arizona to Alaska by herself.
Wow.
Right.
Solo.
Well, my daughter came back. My daughter was going to NAU, Cameron. She rode with her. She drove back by herself. I mean, they didn't even tell me some of the stuff that went on. Like they were in Edmonton and somebody tried to steal our fat tire bikes off of the trailer. They didn't even tell me that for like a year.
Yeah.
And they were rushing to get through the border because of COVID.
Yeah,
Right.
Close.
Yeah. I actually called the border and talked to the border agent at Sweetgrass, Montana, I think it was, and was like, "Hey, are you guys letting anybody through?" And it's like, all I can say is, if you're going to come through here, get here as fast as you can. And so she got through Canada, got to like Beaver Creek.
Yeah.
And then they shut the border. She was able to come through, obviously, because she was, kind of stranded there. But I mean, they went through some dicey stuff. She just, like I said, I think in the beginning, or maybe when we were talking earlier, I've kind of lost. Full on Alaska woman.
Yeah.
Do anything.
Yeah.
Third gen.
Fourth. Well, she's third gen, and my daughters are fourth generation.
Right.
They can do anything. They drove the trailer back. So we spent last winter here just because COVID was making it so uncertain with what to do. And it was really hard for me to travel with work.
Right.
Actually, when I go back this time, no mask because I'm vaccinated.
Okay.
You know?
Oh, nice, man.
So no mask when I go back this time. But so we stayed here this year, and we're going to go out this year and probably head straight to Colorado.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just so we can see our kids before the snow flies, and then we'll, that's the one thing we've found over the last couple of years is a little bit surprising about Alaska, and maybe it's just because I'm not willing to go out and drive out into the middle of nowhere kind of thing. The camping opportunities that are allowed for you on BLM land outside of Alaska are unbelievable. Maybe I'm missing it and haven't seen it.
Yeah.
And if maybe it's more just, screaming about it and wanting to get more lands open for us. But Oregon, Washington, Arizona, California, the BLM land that you can go out on and stay on. I mean, we've stayed on some places where it's just, we were in Terrebonne, Oregon. Central Oregon. We'd done hiked Smith Rock all day that day. Yeah. And we went around the back of it. Okay. And we found this Henderson OHV park. It's like a motorcycle park. And we got there about 10 o'clock.
Side-by-sides.
Yeah. We got there about 10 o'clock at night, and it was starting to get dark, and we were driving in, and the road kept getting narrower and narrower, deeper and deeper, and we're towing a 27-foot trailer, with my Duramax. And we finally go, this isn't getting any better. Let's park, and I'll run like a mile ahead, and see. I'll run up and see what's coming. Got up there, found the greatest spot. We ended up staying there for 7 days. Didn't see a single other person. There were cows, free-range cows there. And one morning, we were like, you know what? We need to do something healthy. So we got out the mat, and we were doing yoga.
Yeah.
My giant butt is up in the air, doing like down dog type of thing.
Yeah.
Helicopter flies over our heads 50 feet. It was the rancher that had all the cows that were running around in that area. And it was like I said, side-by-sides.
Yeah.
Just took our fat tires off, and for like 5-7 days, just rode those trails. Not a single other person. It was so unbelievable. Cool. And then 30 minutes from there, you go into Redmond, and you hit, Wild Ride Brewing, that's the one thing we've kind of knocked on wood with being here in Alaska. I love beer. It obviously shows. I love beer, and I don't turn any beer down.
I don't call them love handles. I call them beer handles.
What's your favorite Alaska beer? Do you have a favorite right
now?
Just one. Don't look at Jack. We said beer.
Beer. Okay.
Difference.
Turnagain Brewing has the Nordic Freestyle.
Yeah, that's good.
Ooh, I haven't tried
beer.
that.
Nice.
That's pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
And we like Anchorage Brewing a lot.
Yeah, Anchorage.
Because we can just. It's like maybe 2 miles walking from our house.
He kills it over there.
He does. He does.
You like their IPAs, or you like the sours?
I like sours.
Yeah, me too.
Unfortunately, I like IPAs too, but their Pie Assassin, I loved that. Yeah. That was really good. Their Relucent, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
And I like your guys' sours. Like if you guys brought back your Isolation.
Yeah, the Isolation.
I'd be there all day.
Soon. Yeah, we're what are we?
I don't think I ever tried the Isolation.
So it's one of our winter dark ciders. Yeah. But we're bringing it. It is 7 weeks in right now, so it'll be ready in a couple.
That is my favorite.
Your next shift off, we'll have it.
There we go.
I'll make sure I save a pint.
There you go.
Or 3.
The one thing I was wondering, we were over there the other day, and I love your guys' space, and man, it'd be wonderful if you guys could. You're blowing out. Could you guys move your evening thing to the backside of your?
Oh yeah.
Oh, for the sun.
The sun. Oh my God, that would just be a dream.
So Galen and I right now are designing a rooftop deck.
Oh.
We're going through bids.
Rooftop.
So when you walk into Double Shovel,
That'd be killer.
where you would normally order a growler or a pint, there's some merch there. Where that merch will be a stairway up to the roof, and you'll have a rooftop deck.
Man.
That even better than the backside. But I agree that west, we're on the east side of the building, and I'd like some more of that vitamin D.
Oh yeah, it's nice there. It's got a great setup. We went there all the time this winter because you had the fire pits going, and you could go there. And if the whole COVID thing was going on, and we could bring our dog.
Yeah,
that's.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that the other day. My wife and I, we were there 2 days ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I think a couple days ago.
Yeah, I missed you. I was in the sound.
Yeah. You just had the one person working there.
Yeah.
But no, it was good. It was really good. I had the forest bitter.
Oh yeah, that's Sherry's baby.
That was good.
That's like
that was kind of
medium
like.
body.
Does it have ginger in it?
It does, just
Okay,
a little bit,
good
but
call.
there's fresh spruce tips.
Yeah, I thought it had some
Yeah.
ginger, and that
Nice
stuff
American
is
sauce.
really. It was all my wife's sister came to, and we were like, "That is the bomb." That stuff was pretty good.
Yeah, it
next
is good.
that was the best thing I've had over there in a little bit.
Yeah,
All of it's good, but it was new.
It's part of the winter series, which isolation is the second of the 3.
Yeah,
And so they get darker and heavier as you go. So
that's like me.
there you are. Much fitting. We got a retirement gate for you.
Oh, I know. Oh God. Oh Lord.
Well, hopefully
I'm gonna be in trouble.
and hopefully in our expansion we get some more Sweeney artwork over there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So if people want to check out Aaron's work, once again, the Instagram is probably the best place. I don't think you have a website, right? You're just all Instagram?
I do Facebook.
Okay,
and
Facebook, Instagram. Listen, it's roasted_timbers_woodworx with an X where the KS should be.
My kids named it. It's because I like drinking coffee, and I do a lot of. That's the other thing I do is a lot of my stuff that I do is just done with fire
Okay.
and
That's the
coconut oil.
Oh yeah.
Got it.
Cool.
So I do a lot of stuff with that rather than
Yeah.
working with some of the stains.
I'm going to try to get a piece from Aaron. I know you did it before for the hot dog stand because I used to do a lot of giveaways and little art and stuff like that. And you actually gave us a couple pieces to give away. It'd be really nice to get a giveaway piece for Dude's Day. Maybe if you got something that you haven't been able to get off or something you can
I've got a piece that I was trying to do as a donation piece for the fermented Alaskan.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, nobody has picked it up.
We'd love to
Maybe I can
do something for the project
it's
and for Dude's
the
Day.
Alaska one with the moose skull.
Oh,
and the
yeah,
Alaska's
I
on
saw
it.
that.
Are you
that
kidding
one.
me?
Yeah.
I know. Is it on? It's on the page right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and her
I
husband
just saw it. It's
Joel.
my favorite.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
two
Let's
great
do this.
people.
If you donate the piece, anyone that comes by Dude's Day, maybe we'll give them
Right
a
there,
ticket.
Aaron? That
They
one
put
right
their
there?
name on it.
That is
Yeah, that's it.
Are
Okay.
you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yep. Let's put it
That's
up.
the
We'll do a
dopest-
giveaway.
That's the dopest shit, dude.
Yeah, we'll do a giveaway. People that come in, visit the podcast, we'll give you a ticket. We'll do the drawing, and you get the piece. Does that work for you?
I'm good with that, man.
Yeah,
That'd be
man.
awesome.
That sounds
Aaron, dude,
awesome.
that-
Thanks,
Yeah.
man.
No.
I'm kind of jealous. I'm like, yo, could I just buy that out from under everybody?
Yeah, no. We're gonna give that away.
I can make
I'm
you
gonna buy
another.
a couple tickets. All right.
Yes.
Yeah. That thing's nasty, man.
Yeah.
Aaron, it's been great, man.
Yeah. Thank you very
It's
much.
been great.
dude.
You do amazing work. If you're a company out there or a business and you're looking for a sign, if you're just a family member and looking for a household item or a gift or something like that, give Aaron a shout, an instant message on Roasted Timber Woodworx on Instagram, and he's going to come through with something that is very reasonably priced. Obviously, he's pulling some wood from some crazy places. He's not just going to go buy something, and he's gonna make
Salvage
something out of his
as
heart. Yeah, it's salvaged, man. It's dunnage.
Yeah.
I would love to get some more. So the other thing, hey, if you're a charity and you're looking for a fundraiser or something like that, if I have the time and you're the right charity, I love stuff with kids, the military, and dogs.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you're looking for something, I've done it. Hit me up if I've got space. I'll
We should
definitely.
link you up with Dustin, because I know he's looking to do some cool stuff down there as
He
well.
really is. Yeah, especially for the military boys.
Yeah.
Oh
That'd
yeah,
be great.
I love them.
Yeah.
all day. In anything military, it's always 15% off for military. I just can't say enough for what those
Yeah.
people do. And
100%.
Thanks. to
Yeah,
those
well
guys,
said,
for
Aaron.
sure.
Yeah, and like I said before, you sent that bio in, and I got a chance to brief that again before we got started. And you're an amazing cat, man. Thanks a lot for everything that you do, everything you've done, raising beautiful family in Alaska, coming up from, we talked about earlier before we started the podcast, all the cool campgrounds we all used to go to when we were kids. You're a true original, representative of what all this is really about, man. And we appreciate you coming on,
Thank
brother.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
thank you so much.
Yep. Once again, roasted_timbers_woodworx on Instagram. You'll definitely be able to check it out on our site. Come to Dude's Day. We're going to have the giveaway. Come get yourself a ticket. We'll make it work. Aaron, thank you. We
Thank you.
appreciate
Aaron.
you. Alaska, everyone, check out the Patreon. Alaska Wild for the discount code.
That's it, 50%.
On that. Check out the website. Buy a shirt, buy a hoodie. We appreciate you guys. We love you. Aaron, you're the best. Thank you. Alaska, stand up.
You'll remember my bitten view of what I call your overcautiousness. Are you not overcautious when you assume that you cannot do what the enemy is constantly doing?
Total Truck Accessory Center. Go check them out at 7700 Homer Drive. They're your one-stop shop for canopies, spray-in bed liners, LED light bars, and more. Total Truck.
TheTreehouseAK.com. Located at 341 Boniface Parkway. They're your all-in-one cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bartender today what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off.
Lawn Pro AK, your year-round professional property maintenance. Cutting lawns, but not cutting quality. Hit them up at lawnproak.com.
Double Shovel Cider Company, located off of Arctic and 58. Handcrafted, Alaskan-made cider. They also got a tap room downtown on the corner of 5th and E. Check them out, doubleshovelcider.com.
Anchortown Dogs, located across from the 4th Avenue Theater in front of the historical building. Look for the blue and gold umbrella. Get yourself a legit reindeer dog.
Tailored Restoration, helping Alaskans restore their dreams. Voted #1 in the state since 1972. Water restoration, fire restoration, remodeling, cleaning, anything that you have to do with your home, inside and outside, give those guys a call or check out tailoredrestoration.com.